Uh, okay. Um, let me see. Pull my wrist up. Let me see. I gotta get your link and drop it real quick. Da, 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 da. Copy. Yo, I'll tell you in a second. I'm going to text you.
Hello.
Shh, I'm on the live, man. Hold on, Clay. Hold on. I hit the mute button. I'm about to go do something for my son real quick. So I said, if you cooking, you know what I mean? I know you live right now. It did show. So give me a second. I'll be right here. I'm not going away. I got to do something for the young one. Okay. I don't know. I can't. Your mic's muted.
Sorry about that. My mic was muted.
Yeah, I was like, hold on. And you wasn't responding. Yeah, let me go take care of something real quick with little guy, and I'll be right back.
Right. Yo, salute Jackie Hernandez. Salute Stop Motion. Salute Richard Paris. Thank you guys for showing up today. Please, guys, 2 cents. Salute. How you doing, man? Guys, don't forget to hit the like, hit the thumbs up for me so we can get this algorithm going. Got a lot to talk about today, guys. A lot of stuff to talk about today. You know, you see y'all see the thumbnail, so you get the gist of some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. But let's see, got a couple more people coming in. Blessings, Cal Coolidge. Salute, Cal Coolidge. Salute. All right. That's what's up. Yeah, we're going to talk about a couple of things today, man. We got a lot of things going on in the boxing world. You know what I mean? Had an interesting build a little bit earlier. You know, I'm probably going to continue on that build a little bit, right? But you know, Ryan Garcia is doing things out here. I don't know who he's fighting, but the new guy who supposedly he's working out with, maybe Adrien Broner. You know, 2 cents. Fanan cooked you today. I'm just kidding. It's all good.
Nah,
I don't know. Did he cook me? I don't know, man. That's what we're gonna talk about a little bit. We're gonna talk about it a little bit.
It was pretty good. I caught up on it. It was pretty good. You guys were going. You were building. You were building.
Yeah. Richard Paris says build. You got the question mark build.
Hold on. Richard Paris. No disrespect.
You said build.
You dropped.
Hey, Echo. Salute.
Really mean. You dropped something really mean on him, man. You know what building is. You know what I mean? That's what we do. I mean, he was trying. Yeah. From what I understand, look, I jumped in late. What I'm trying to say is, what's up, Richard Paris? When I jumped in the chat, right, I seen him ask a question about the fight or whatever, and if he really cares about the fight. But he was saying, why does he explore the opportunities of the fight? I'm going to go along those lines because I can't say it verbatim. And then Fanon was like, no, called him a liar, this and that. It was funny. Yeah. It was all great entertainment.
Wait, hold on a second. Go. Echo, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking, Echo. Really appreciate you coming through, definitely. But go ahead, Ray.
No, I'm just saying it was great for entertainment. But then he switched it up. That's what he did. He switched it up. And when he switched that up, I was like, oh my God, no, he didn't just do that.
Right.
I was like, yo, and then he called you a liar. I was dying, bro. I was dying in the chat.
No, it was a good time, man.
I mean, for what I seen, because I was in class, you know what I mean? And just so for the record, look.
So you guys got to get you a wife.
I'm doing homework right now.
Hibiscus drinks. You know what I'm saying?
I'm doing homework right now. So
you gotta get your wife like that.
Oh yeah, that's what she do. She put the stickers on them too.
And she just came through the door, got me something right here, got me a little something right here. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. But I'm gonna find out in a minute.
Choked. I thought I was funny for a second.
No, but look, guys. You know, there was a reason for the quote unquote debate, right? And what was the reason? The reason is at the end of the day, guys, it's about the best fighting the best. It's about getting the best matches we can get. And you know, in particular, in the Gervonta Tank Davis case, being that the issue that keeps getting brought up whenever we want to see him fight somebody is as to whether or not it's worth his time or not, right? Whether or not it's worth his while. And we're talking about money, right? Monetarily. So, you know, my point was to simply say, well, there may be options out there to help facilitate that reward that Gervonta is looking for. So we as the fans can get the fights that we want. That's it. And if that's really the only thing stopping these fights from happening, then yeah, man, I would encourage Gervonta to follow up and have his people follow up, you know what I mean, and find out what opportunities may really be there financially, right, so that he may be able to give us what we want, which is the fights. If money is the only thing that's getting in the way of that happening, right? If there's some other things, you know what I mean, then that's different conversations, right? But it seems to me presently that the situation is money, that he needs to see some benefit in it for himself, to where he's financially being compensated to where he feels like he should be compensated, so he's not losing out on that, right? To take that fight where he could be taking other fights and maybe he can get more money. So that's what the debate was really about. Let me see. Richard Paris says, I think you misunderstood Fernand Angle, though. That's the issue. It's possible, Richard. Richard, it's quite possible that I missed his angle. You know what I mean? I can tell you right now that I'm pretty sure that his angle was in a present moment, in a present time, outside of Saudi, not considering Saudi, that right now that he has no real vested interest on entertaining fighting of Devin Haney coming up in weight or doing anything like that when he really doesn't have to right now. There's really no reward for him right now. And I conceded that to Fanon, right? Like I said, yeah, you're right. Right now, he doesn't have any vested interest. But I was simply pointing towards the Saudis as a potential solution to that. Fanon Angle wasn't specific to Tank. Okay. Well, look, let me tell you, you know what I can do, Richard? Well, I'm gonna do it in a minute, Richard. We'll talk about it in a minute because I'm gonna throw the link up, and I hope that you hit the link, and then we could build on that as well. Cal Cooler said that's not it, Claymore. Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna throw the link up soon, and we're gonna get to talk about all those things. Let's get some of the current events out the way. Let's talk about that, and we'll get that link out there.
Jump up 2 cents.
Yeah, 2 cents. What? 2 cents too?
Lead the way. Yeah, no, she all good.
Yeah. Look, man. Look, I also want you guys to understand this. You know, whatever tension it might look like there is at times in conversations, there's no real tension, because at the end of the day, respect is the foundation to it all. And because that's been established, we understand. And we're never going to cross lines and disrespect nobody. I got a lot of respect for Fanon. He knows that. You know what I mean? Too much respect. You know what I'm saying? So we will push the limit sometimes and get into some heated situations, but I'll never cross the line and disrespect that man, especially on his own platform. I wouldn't even come on his platform if I didn't have respect. I wouldn't even show up. So, you know, but let me see. What does he say here? Breaking news on upper echelon earlier, and Billy and Morel. And so, ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But
we gotta talk about that. That's gonna be a great fight. That's a great fight.
I told you I had a surprise for you, but never mind.
Okay. Look, that is a great fight. You know, I'm sipping on my American Rifle hazelnut. You know what I mean? Yeah, you guys excuse me. I don't mean to eat while I'm on here, but I'm sipping on something.
Hey, do what you got to do. I had some coffee. I didn't even know I had in the box today.
Yeah, I got me a little coffee.
When I went to class this morning, I was like, "Yo, what is what was it? Butter? Not butter pecan. It was like butter something. It wasn't butterscotch. It was something else." And I was like, "Butter toffee, butter toffee coffee." I said, "I've never had nothing like this before."
Right.
And it smelled good. It tastes good. I was like, "Yo, For real. So I know what you're talking.
Official.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, bro.
Yeah, it's that hot. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Yeah.
So check it out. Have you heard about this Ryan Garcia situation? Like how this is developing right now at this point? I mean, I don't know. Last time, you guys know I'm tapping in like every week, right? So much happens in between the weeks. So some of these conversations may seem like a little outdated. Maybe you guys already have perspective on it, but over the past week, we know that Ryan Garcia and Oscar De La Hoya's situation and Devin Haney's situation, the way that was moving. There were points in times where Ryan Garcia was Oscar De La Hoya was trying to coordinate fights for Ryan Garcia, maybe entertaining like a Jose Ramirez. Ryan Garcia shot that down, and now I guess the new guy on the bill is Adrien Broner potentially. Have you heard about that?
Apparently, I heard that shot down too. I heard Oscar doesn't want it. He wants the Devin fight because he sees more money into it. I mean, it's always about money with certain people.
Right.
I would take the fight either way, but what I don't want to hear, 2 cents, I love you. I don't want to hear Ryan's fighting an old man. Because I'm just joking. No, we get that a lot with the age thing, and but Adrien Broner actually brings something to the table for Ryan. Now Ryan can still catch him with the hook, but I think Adrien Broner as a boxer, and a really skilled boxer, can actually beat Ryan. It's actually weird, because he lacks so many things. Now, if he can bring around the table, whatever he's learning down there in Texas. If he's still in Texas, I don't even know if he's still training with Derek James. I hope he is, because he's with Floyd. He's in the gym with Floyd, so I don't know what he's learning. Okay. But if he can bring what he learned down in Texas with him, man, he could turn into a great fighter. Because I've seen some things that he did stylistically that actually was adapting, but it took him a while to learn those things. It's like he had to drill it into him. He's like, yeah, when I finally got it, now I'm here. But hey, man, if it happens, I could see that. I don't know. I mean, it'll be big for Golden Boy. Right. How big for Ryan, I don't know. And I don't want to see Ryan take an L right now to anybody specific. I think he needs to get some more fights under his belt. Going from an L to a comeback win to an L or anything like that. So yeah, make the fight. Let's see what happens. Youth first experience. See what happens.
Yeah. Well, look, I co-sign pretty much everything you said. I think the big thing with Ryan Garcia right now is understanding that there's a time clock on him, right? Like there's a time span that he's trying to hold off on, to where him and Derek James can kind of like build this like organic relationship, to where Derek James is able to manifest or translate what he wants to happen in the ring with Ryan. All that depending on Ryan's ability to be receptive to what Derek James is trying to teach him. And he needs fights. He needs rounds in the ring to kind of get these techniques down. And he's also trying to buy time and not fight guys that are probably too high level for him right now, right? And he also wants to stay busy, and he wants to get a championship belt. So I know the pressure's on him. He wanted Devin Haney at first. I think he kind of clout chased a little bit on that. In my opinion, I don't think that was really what he wanted, or maybe he thought about it. Maybe Floyd might have spoke to him about that as well in a nicer way, to kind of let him know, like, yo, you're just starting with Derek. You're really just getting your legs back up under you. Right. Devin is a probably one of the best dudes in that division, if not the best dude in that division. Right. You might want to take something easier like a Rolly Romero. Right. Well, unknown to Ryan, Rolly Romero feels his ego is up in the air. He feels like he's a very important person. He feels like he's an A-side fighter. He feels like he's a big attraction, a big pay-per-view seller. He also has a Gervonta Tank Davis fight that he fought, where he feels like he drove the promotion on that pretty well. And he wasn't going to let Ryan Garcia come in and A-side him to death, right? And he just let him know that, listen, no, that's not how it's going to work. I'm giving you the opportunity. You don't have a belt. You haven't even fought officially at 140 yet, for real. Fortuna, I guess we could say that was a fight at 140, but his last fight, he didn't even make weight. It was some crazy catch weight fight, right, against Oscar Duerta. So I agree with Rolly in many ways with that. But at the end of the day, Ryan was asking for too much, not offering Rolly enough to make it worth his while. So he felt Rolly pulls out of the negotiations. And now he left Ryan Garcia, in my opinion, in limbo in a real bad way, because now he needs to fight and stay busy. You saw how he reacted with Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez was going to be too much of a challenge for him, and as far as risk reward is concerned. So now I guess he feels like Adrien Broner is kind of like the food for him a little bit. Like him and Adrien Broner can make something happen. I think Adrien is an underrated fighter for some reason today. I think people sometimes have short memories about who he really is. And I understand that he has issues, outside of the ring, and that he probably has digressed a little bit from who he used to be. But his IQ and the way he fights, it can cause issues. A lot of issues for Ryan Garcia. I mean, remember even when he fought Manny Pacquiao, or when he fought DeMarcus Madonis, he provided issues. They didn't just run through him. He's never been knocked out. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to protect himself properly, and he knows how to counterpunch. He knows how to make you pay. Somebody like Ryan Garcia, who has as many holes in his game that we've seen, he can get hit. You can't hold your chin high against Adrien Broner. He has the pedigree to take advantage of that issue. He can prepare and take advantage of those things. So I think it's a better fight than what most people think it is. I think the biggest issue for Adrien Broner is going to be this weight, though. I'm hearing he's walking around pretty heavy. He's been drinking. He's had to do these hard weight cuts. They don't get easier as you get older. So we'll see how he makes the weight, and if it's going to be a weight drain issue, I think he has to kind of pay attention to that. But I think other than that, it's a good matchup. I would give Ryan Garcia credit for being Adrien Broner.
It is a dangerous fight. Richard Parrish is 100% right. And as far as weight goes, I know he's trying to get down to 140. It'd probably be a catch weight. My whole thing is I think it'd be at 144, whoever he fights. It's going to be a catch weight fight. It's not going to be like a real 140 fight, because I know he's an in-betweener. I know he just doesn't have the height or the strength to be at 147.
Right.
But we'll see what happens.
Right. And listen, let me see. TR said, I was a big supporter of AB, but his time has passed. He don't let his hands go. It's time to let Broner grow. I understand where you're coming from, TR. I do think his time, I don't like to put that on fighters, but I can't disagree with you. I think his time is definitely, I think his prime AB is past. We won't never get that prime AB, but I do think that whatever AB, I don't know if this AB, which is not the prime AB, but does it take a prime AB to beat Ryan Garcia, or does it take a good AB or decent AB? You know what I'm saying? That's the question, right? So I think Adrien Broner is one of those guys who's an example of outside the ring tactics, coming inside the ring and showing up in a negative way. So we just got to see. Echo says discipline is the key for Broner. Right, Echo, but we know that Adrien Broner has never really been the disciplined guy, so that can get pretty complicated, right? I don't know. I think at the end of the day, to close it up for me, we got to see. It depends on the Adrien Broner that shows up, and equally the Ryan Garcia that shows up, to see if he's
right.
improved. I don't think the Ryan Garcia who beat Oscar Duarte beats Adrien Broner. So I need to see a better Ryan Garcia. I think it requires better to beat AB. What do you think for your closing on this?
I agree. Actually, I just think Ryan does have the speed, but I just think Broner's, like I said, his style and his intelligence of the ring as a boxer, IQ, I think saves him and prevails him in a fight with Ryan Garcia. I think it goes a distance, and he either wins or he loses based on favoritism, but he wins by boxing. And hurts Ryan's, and it puts a damper in Ryan's career, like big time. And I don't know if that's the fight I would want to take in Oscar's world. I would look for something more suitable, because you don't want to lose to an aging fighter that's on his way out. But if it happens, it happens, dog. Like at the end of the day, hey, styles make fights. We say it all the time.
All the time. And shout out Echo said a good AB can beat him. Echo, I don't know if you want to expand on that, but are you talking about good as far as like not the best AB, just a good AB, or do you just mean, you know what I mean?
I know what he means.
I think that's what he means too.
Yeah, he means like a discipline, like a well-disciplined AB coming out into the ring and like that can show heart and defeat Ryan.
Right.
Because of his skill level. I'm telling you, skills pay the bills, bro. I'm sorry. But speaking of age, I wanted to get into something that's been talked about. I think it was like the last 2 or 3 weeks. We've been having
Wait,
me.
don't jump in that yet. Don't jump in that yet. Let's
Please
kind of
let me
address.
jump in this. This is here.
No,
This is
because
here.
we got some things
Okay.
in the chat that people want to kind of address while it's hot.
All right,
Let's
yeah,
talk
go
about
ahead.
what they
We'll
want to talk about a little bit. So
that.
Herring Symbol says Frank Martin versus Gervonta could be the next.
I would love
wins?
I would love it.
I think that's a great fight, man. Shout out to Gervonta if he makes that fight. That I feel like if he makes that fight, he's listening to us. Not to me specifically, because I'm sure he don't want last person he wants to hear from is me.
I'll take that over a Devin fight any day.
But the fans, you know, he's listening to the fans. He's trying to give us some good fights. And if he does that against Frank Martin, that's a direct response to everybody wanting to fight an athletic, black, right, fighter. Well, I mean, that's him answering the question.
What I like about Tank is I think he has a lot of similarities. I think that's a very similar fighting guy. You know what it reminds me of? Tyson in Holyfield. When Holyfield was coming up and Tyson was the man, obviously he had lost to Buster Douglas, but that has a lot of similarities because you have a guy that has a unique talent. He has power in both hands. He can fight. He's not a really knockout artist, but he's a boxer underneath. And that sometimes serves trouble for guys that can box and that are equal in talent as a person. So that changes things. So it's a very strong possibility we can see Frank upsetting Tank, but Tank has the power. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, it's a great fight. I don't know. I wouldn't take a pick. I'm not going to say it's 50-50, but it's definitely like 60-40. It's a strong chance it could be an upset in that fight.
And that within itself, Ray, is exciting because we don't see Tank in those fights, right? We don't see Tank in those fights where we're sitting here having these conversations like 60-40 or, I'm refraining and restraining ourselves from saying 50-50 because we don't want to, overdo it. But that's just the excitement of the possibilities of this fight has so many possibilities to it. We get a little excited, but I agree with you. 60-40 for sure.
60-40 is ridiculous. No way.
2 cents. Are you trying to sell this fight or not? You know what I'm saying? You got to remember what you are now, 2 cents. You are media. You are media, 2 cents. I need you to sell this fight. All right.
We're not hating on Tank. I'm being realistic. The talents that we see Tank have are indisputably great. Like there's no way I would take it away from him. Tank's boxing skills is out of this world, but because of his reach and his disadvantages with other fighters, it makes it hard for him. So he has to close distance. A guy like Frank, the Ghost Martin, he lives on that. So you have like two worlds colliding and they both have like great boxing skills inside. Like that's a great fight. Like at the end of the day, that's a great fight. Now, if you think it's 35-65, I can live with that. But if you say anything less than that, I can't agree with you. You know what I mean? Like it's really closer than what people are thinking. It's really close.
Yeah, I think this isn't. I think fans, guys, whatever platform I'm on, I always say boxing first, right? Boxing first. At the end of the day, we got to be honest and not get caught up in because we like a fighter or something. Because Tank is a super talented fighter, but we can't sleep on Frank Martin and a motivated Frank Martin at that, who had a complicated negotiation, which of course Stevens has a bad name stain on his name right now. This is an opportunity for him to really show the world that to change the whole narrative on who he is. So he's super motivated. And they have a little bit of a history. I know people don't like to put emphasis on sparring. I joined that club. I'm not big on that, but Frank Martin may be confident going into this fight based on experiences he had with Gervonta Tank Davis in sparring sessions. So he's gonna be motivated, man. This is gonna be a great fight. This is what we asked for, and we're gonna sell this. I'm gonna sell this. This is a great fight, and I hope this is one of many fights in the future for Tank Davis. I'll give him credit as well to say that him coming off of almost a year layoff to jump into a ring with a Frank Martin, I got to give him credit for that because I personally would not have faulted him for taking on a Rayo or somebody just for his first fight back. So respect for jumping right into the fire and entertaining a fight with a Frank Martin.
Well, Richard Parrish, I'm going to touch base on that in a second. So, Claymore, they've been off about the same amount of time, but Richard Parrish, remember Frank fought a guy that was an Olympian. 2, that guy came in the ring. You talk about snack. That dude looked like he ate two boxes of snacks and some Doritos. He was huge. And he gave him trouble early. Why? Because the styles make fights. I say it all the time. And that was a unique thing. He wasn't expecting that. And when his coach asked him to apply the pressure and what to do, and he turned it up, guess what happened? He won that fight. So trouble or not, like we always say, you're only as good as your last fight. And just like people clowned him, they clowned Shakur, they clowned Devin with the Loma fight, and guess what? We talk about the Loma fight, but we won't talk about the Regis fight. Guess what? Your last fight is what counts. So
yeah,
if we're looking at all that, that's what matters to me.
Yeah, man. I think we're looking at a competitive fight. Ross Clot says, "LOL, y'all brothers is optimistic. Tank don't fight black fighters. He's not optimistic. He don't think it happens."
Rich up the dude, just do in the building. Salute. Thank you,
Salute,
just do.
Salute, just do for sure. Thank you for showing up for me, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Guys, so I don't know. Yeah, I think a great fight, man. But like Ross Clot said, just a comment towards what he's saying. We don't know. It's not penned out. What they're talking about, there's a very high chance of this being the next fight. You know, the way boxing has been for the past year or so, nothing is final until it's final, right? I think between Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, starting since then, all the way, you know what I'm saying? It's like you get your hopes up, it goes away. So we'll see what he
What's up, D1 Boxing Brief? Salute.
Salute.
Just do. That's a great question for you. You're very down the middle with things, and I know you do like Tank. I know you like Frank Martin as well. How do you see the odds in that? Because I was saying like 60-40 when we actually break them down, possibly 65-35. What do you think?
Go ahead and put that in there. We're going to put that link up soon too.
Yeah,
we're just going to run through these real quick, like recent events, current events, and then we're going to jump in there and have all types of conversations.
Right.
But yeah, so great fight. I'd love to see it. I'm thumbs up about it. Let's do it. If y'all can line it up, let's get it done. So let me ask you a question, Ray. As far as Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia at this point, where we're at right now at this point, and this is going to be real quick. We don't have to hang on this too long, but at some point, should Oscar De La Hoya get a hold of this situation? It's like this thing going on with Oscar and Ryan publicly. Like now, Ryan is like supposedly challenging Oscar to some sort of boxing match. At what point does there need to be a hand put on this and some control need to get put on this?
It's beyond repair. We already seen this many times with boxers either leaving their trainers or leaving their promotional companies because of breakdown. It's an unhappy marriage. It's time for a divorce. Unfortunately, that's the only repair we have.
Right.
I don't know about him putting hands on him. I think it just got to the point where Oscar's trying to take control of the situation. Yeah, I agree, just do. That's what I said. Thank you. But yeah, so I agree that Oscar is definitely being a little manipulative and trying to take things away to prove a point to Ryan. I think it's a little obnoxious is the word I want to use.
Right.
But at the end of the day, bro, like we gotta really be respectful to the fighters as well, because the fighters are the ones putting it on the line. If they want to fight and he wanted to fight Rolly and it was on the table, Oscar should have let him do it. It was a good fight. It's an opportunity for his stable to get a belt. He took that out of the equation. So now he wants to put him against another guy, probably from his camp or over across the street at the zone.
No, it's definitely his camp. It's his newest fighter.
What I'm saying? Yeah, so he does it to keep it in-house. And he's just trying to. He's so hateful towards Floyd because remember, at the end of the day, that's where it comes from him and Floyd. So Oscar also is really a big part of this and a really huge part of the blame on that. I don't like that at all. I think, like I said, you got to stay out of it. Let your fighters make the fights. You co-sign it. If you see something better because you see the money's right, you know what I mean? Right. I understand directing your fighter that way, but you just took the opportunity for not only a bag, a belt, all types of things out of your fighter's hands, in your stable's hands. For what? For pride and fishnets? Yeah, we good. I'm good on that.
He said, "You ain't shit." Look, man. I think there's blame to be spread around and shared. You know what I mean? I also disagree with the way Ryan Garcia is carrying himself. I think doing all this twittering, you know what I'm saying? Everyday little thing that happens, it's on Twitter. We know about it. Challenging Oscar to a boxing match, changing last minute from Devin Haney, going to Rolly Romero. Then, you know what I'm saying? Going from there. Now you're talking about possibly an Isak Cruz that doesn't go through. Now we're bringing up Adrien Broner, and all these things are happening. And you're putting Oscar in a you could possibly be putting Oscar in a very awkward, complicated situation. You know, Oscar does have a whole entire roster that he's in charge of. His respect is I'm sure a big deal to him. You're just moving around with him with little respect, and that can build some animosity. And although Oscar might be acting petty as far as the way he jumped in front of that in front of that deal, or that, you know, ironing out that deal with Rolly Romero, there's a good chance that he wouldn't have been feeling that way if, you know, Ryan Garcia just, you know, showed a little bit more respect for the owner of the promotional company that pretty much owns the rights and have binding agreements to promote all your fights, right? It just doesn't make sense to attack the people who have vested interest in your career. You want those guys on your side. You know what I mean? It's like, don't yell at the guy and talk crazy to the guy who's making your fries, right? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. If you're not going to eat from there, yes, but if you got to eat at that McDonald's, be conscious of that when you throwing shots.
So we got a
question.
question.
It can get ugly.
We got a question about a 50-50 fight. It's on demand because it's
D1. You want me to put D on?
Yeah, you can.
Wait,
throw it
no,
up.
Richard got a question too.
What single 50-50 fight exists? It's not just D1 had it too. Honestly, and I know you guys hate to hear this, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. But I guess Devin, when he was at 135 3 years ago, not struggling to make weight, or Tank going to 140 right now, is a great 50-50 fight, because that's a stylistically great matchup. And we don't know if it's going to be the skill set and boxing setup of Devin that can outweigh the and keeping distance, staying away from Tank can be a great part of that fight, or is it going to be Tank catching him and laying him out cold, knocking his block off, sending him crying to his daddy, and all that. So, you know what I mean? We don't know. Is there another 50-50 fight? I don't really want to say Shakur. I love Shakur, but Shakur, it's hard to, again, everything's based off your last performance. And we've seen this twice now with Shakur with heavy punchers. So I'm not saying, I think he'll try to prove himself. So I really only see like 2 or 3 fights. That's about it. I don't really see too many fights. And I would say Shakur 50-50. It depends what Shakur we get, honestly. It depends.
Right.
But
well, go ahead, finish it though. I just want to get
it's okay. So it depends what Shakur we get, because Shakur is a bad man. His defense is really great, and his counter off his defense. The problem is Tank is so. What makes him so good is he sets up everything. He sees everything. He calculates, and it's just, you got that, like, him and Devin have the great mindset. Like, they both calculate. They both sit there and they measure and they watch. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. No, I know Just Dude, he was injured. I'm just putting it out there as us remembering, you know, what takes place. You know what I mean? How people view things. That's all. I'm being honest. I'm just being on the fence on things. I'm not giving anything but statements that are facts. That's all. I'm not going against the grain.
Real quick, I don't want to cut you short, but let me just shout out to a bunch of people who stepped in here.
Drop the shout out. Welcome everybody in, man.
Yeah, salute to D1 Boxing Breeze, man. I appreciate you showing up. Showing up for the live, man. Shout out to Just Do for sure. We already shouted him out. Shout out to the Outlaw Pugilist. Check out his channel. He usually speaks mostly on like heavyweight fights and what's going on in England and things like that. But man, just a whole bunch of knowledge, man. Really, I like going to his channel a lot. Herring Symbol, I know I ain't miss you, man. You know what I'm saying? I really salute you. He's one of those guys. He's one of those the foundational guys to the channel, you know what I'm saying, who's always been here. Even when we had 3 people in the room, Herring would be one of them, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Herring for showing up, man. TR, man, salute, brother, for showing up. J Cash, the money man, salute, brother. Thank you for coming out. I think I got everybody else. Cal Coolett. We will be throwing that link up shortly, so we'll be building in a minute. So you guys just stay patient with us while we run through these topics. Did you want to finish what you were saying?
Yeah. So and actually, I do know Cordial guy. We rep Jersey, man, and Claymore tell you, I've been on him. I've been a little disappointed in him, but I love Cord, bro. For real. You know what I mean? We rep him. So, well, he reps us. He reps our state. He's our guy. So, you know, at the end of the day, I do rep him, and I do see him that's why I changed it to a 50-50 fight, because at the end of the day, we didn't see the best Shakur, and we know what he can do. You know what I mean? And at the end, that's what I would like to see. That's what I love to see. Clay, I guess you could touch base on it. I mean, what do you see differently?
For which one are you talking about? No, we still talking about Frank Martin right now and
No, we're
Tank,
talking
or we
about
talking about
we're talking
Shakur?
about the question about the how we see a 50-50 fight with Tank.
Oh yeah, 50-50 fight with Tank is a fight where you're forcing Tank to play chess, right? Wills are being imposed where Tank just can't do what he feels like doing. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to see. We want to see Tank meet his match to where where this is a round by round match. How about this? A fight where Tank can't get comfortable being down on rounds, where he's not just so confident that he doesn't mind losing rounds and he's being competitive through it, understanding that this might go to the judges and he might need to impress 3 judges to at least 2 out of 3 judges to be on his side for him to walk away with victory. I think that's what a 50-50 fight looks like with Tank Davis, and I think that's what we're all hungry to see. We want to see him in a 50-50 fight. So, you know, Frank Martin is one step closer to getting us there.
Okay. All right, cool. You want to go back
to
the
all
Frank,
right. So
what we got next?
All right, so I'm gonna save the Gervonta Saudi Arabia conversation probably when we open the panel a little bit. Like we'll open it up and then let you guys come in, because that was a big thing today. I don't know if you guys, you know, everybody who's in the building was there, but you know, it was a big thing today. We had a real big I had a big debate with the man
misses
himself.
Me is obviously he misses me. He wants that win back, so he's going after you. Salute to Fanon. Salute Fanon. You know, with all due respect,
man. The OG, man, for sure.
He definitely gave me some game, man. You know what I mean? I respect him. He's a true champ when it comes to that debate game. So, you know what I mean? To me to feel like I'm 3-1 this year, 2024, I'm claiming it. Matter of fact, I got a few people claiming it with me. So at the end of the day, I'm holding on to that.
Definitely. So look, we can get into it, man. Listen, man. You know, I'm gonna open it up, let him go, and then we're gonna open the panel. I'll put the link out there. But just to get my thoughts out the way, just in case it's harder for me to get it out once the panel's up here, you know what I'm saying? It can get complicated. At the end of the day, you have traditional fighters, you have traditional fans, you have casual fans.
Right.
I can say from the traditional fan, I'm definitely, if I have to pick a side, I'm a traditional fan. And what does that mean? Traditional fan meaning I'm very interested in the best fighters fighting the best fighters. I want to be present for history that's going to be made for the future. And I want to see, I don't want eras to go by and I don't see the fights that I'm supposed to see. And I want to see the fights happen at the right time. Timing is very important. And, you know, His Excellency Turki Alalshikh spoke on this. And that's why, you know, I am a big supporter of what Saudi Arabia is trying to do. He understood the importance of timing for us to see these fights when they're supposed to, when these fighters are at their primes, so we can see them compete healthy at the top of their game. And before they take losses or too much wear and tear, or they get older and they have to even change their styles to fight, we want to see them in their prime. All right. That's what we want to see. So any conversations that I have towards Gervonta Tank Davis potentially entertaining offers is in the spirit of great fights happening, because I understand that in order for great fights to happen, it takes good financing for that to happen. And I'm trying to see if there's ways for that to be facilitated. I feel like these fighters should entertain these ways to at least see and confirm one way or another if it's a realistic opportunity or not. Right. So that's what I speak about this topic, where I'm coming from. I'm genuinely not a fan of a particular fighter. I'm a boxing fan first.
Absolutely.
But we're gonna call BS what is BS, and we're gonna celebrate where they're supposed to be celebrating, and we're gonna keep it 100 like that. And I hope you guys understand that moving forward, and we can remember to keep respect at the foundation of everything that we do. Go ahead.
No, I kind of second that. I'm 50-50 with the Saudi Arabia thing. You know what I mean? I would like to see PBC get their thing off the ground, or Top Rank start making some great and good fights, or even collabing with other promotional companies. But if that's what it takes for these fights to get done, and the fighters see that, and we get what we had back in the 80s and in the 70s, and we get these fights going and moving forward, then that's what we got. Because again, I think I mentioned before, I don't want to see another Floyd and Pacquiao. I don't want to see a almost 40-year-old guy and another almost 40-year-old guy going at it in the ring. I don't want to see an aged out what's his name? Roy Jones Jr., my guy. You know what I mean? I don't want to see him in the ring with some guy You know what I mean? After he's been knocked out 3 times because he has a big name and still fighting at a certain age. I want to see the fights going. I want to see them maintain while they're young, elimination. We already seen with the 4 King era what happened. They all fought each other. No one called each other a duck. No one ever said, this guy was my leftovers or your guys suck that you're fighting right now. No one ever did. They went after each other. And there's more guys outside that element, other 4 Kings that fought in that era. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
We had Pryor. We had Puerto Rican dude. I don't know why I can't think of his name. Echo gonna drop in a second, but we had like 6 or 7 guys in that era. Besides Leonard Hearns, Hagler, and Duran. You know what I mean? And we had all these things and all these options, which we don't have that anymore. And the reason why we don't have that anymore is because it's all about the money. It's not about the pride and the prize. The money comes with it. The money's going to come with it. And the bigger your name, we know we always have this and that. The A side, B side, like I laugh because some people say A side and then they be like, oh, there is no A side. There is an A side. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I'll take that. There is some concessions that need to be made, but you can't say this guy has to make a concession here when this guy doesn't have to make a concession there. It has to be down the middle, and you have to feel that way all the time. That's why I always say I'm down the middle lane all the time, and I try to stay that way. I'm pretty sure anybody in the chat that watch me debate or anything, I definitely try to stay and respectfully down the middle. Now, I may lean a little bit here and there based on the content that's being delivered, but so you're going to do it, let them do it. I don't see why we're stopping them if they're going to make the fights happen at the end of the day. And like I said, this has nothing to do with Tank or anybody else. I mean, right now they're fighting heavyweights over there, man, and they got the heavyweights over there, and these heavyweights are getting it in. Why can't we do this with the middleweight divisions? Like, and when I say middleweight, I do mean from middle to lightweight, super middle to lightweight, and get these guys going, bro, for real.
Definitely, man. And that's what it comes down to. And I say to the promoters, message to the promoters, if you guys don't like what Saudi's doing and you feel like they're taking fights away from the United States, man, I can get behind that. I can appreciate that. My advice in I hope you guys take into consideration is to go ahead and make it your business this year to make those fights happen then and be part of that. Respond that way. Because as a fan, we want to see the fights. And if you guys aren't willing to because of imaginary lines or, that are in the sand between you guys and you guys want to keep fights all under your own banner, then, we're going to support Saudi Arabia into erasing those lines and facilitating these fights for us to see. Because we don't care where the fight happens, to be honest with you. What's most important is that we see the fight happen. I don't know if Ray Davis will co-sign that.
I do. 100%.
All right, so guys, what I'm going to do is I am going to throw the link in there. You guys can hit up the link and tap in and give us your opinions. Let me just shout out to some of the people in the room right now. We got a lot going on up in here, man. N Conquest, shout out to N Conquest. Let's see, Big Sarge. Shout out to Big Sarge. I'm trying to see the new names that I haven't seen. I think it's about it. What's this one here? I want to read this right quick. He put a paragraph in here. I hope it's good. Oh, he said, so when Cam Mace, it is what it is, approached Mark Jackson to start a new show, Cam said he bought a duffel bag. Okay, it has nothing to do with us. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna throw.
Cam didn't bring his pink Lamborghini.
Right. You know what I mean? I also saw Haney say that he was going to stay at 135 for the entire 2023. All right, here I'm throwing the link up, guys. So it's there. Stop by and say hello. You know what I mean? Keep it respectful, guys.
Yeah, keep it respectful, guys. We just
not
build
just for not just for us, but whoever else jumps on the platform as well. Respect is the foundation. With respect, we can speak about all kind of things and have great.
Note, peace.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Note, yeah. Shout out to Note for sure. Yeah, he is. He's right there. You know what I mean? What does he say? Big Dre saying Claymore Rain making the fights is priority 1. 100%, Big Dre, 100%, man. Can't say it harder, man. And I want, as fans, I want us to be, we don't have to be the fan of the same fighter. Everybody can have who they like, but I think we need to be a unified force when it comes to wanting the fights to happen, right? Because without the fights happening, we have nothing to talk about, right? And the more competitive the fights, the more exciting the conversations that we have. So we should be unified on that. You know what I mean? All of us. I don't care if you're a Tank fan, a Devin fan, a Shakur fan, Tyson Fury fan, whatever fan you are, we all benefit from these fights happening. So, we should be together motivating these fighters to make these fights happening. If they need money and there's somebody with money, we should be putting pressure on these fighters to go check out and see if that money's real, so we can see, because we not paying them. I know I ain't got $50 million to give Tank, so he better not even.
Big Dre be on me, bro. Salute Big Dre, man. You my dog.
Yeah.
I know you be on me like pause. Hold on, pause. Whoa. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. The internet's forever.
Throw it a little bit. I be seeing you, dog.
Yeah. Yo, salute A-Side. A-Side's in the building? I ain't see A-Side.
He right there. He
Okay.
just dropped you.
Oh, okay. Salute A-Side. Salute. Thank you for stopping by, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Anonymous. Shout out to Anonymous. Oh, Shacky's got a fight. Yeah, definitely freaking fire. Let me see here. Am I missing this?
Freak.
Oh,
I got it.
They're moving so fast. You guys are just putting the information there.
I know you are, Big Dre. Listen, here's the thing. I never get my feelings with things, so I just try to explain things based on a boxing fan perspective, not a fanboy of what I want to see. So when I speak on things, I never speak anything that's false. I go with facts, and I try to look things up as much as possible. So when you hear me debate or say something, I'm basically only supporting things that are real. I think a lot of times when you hear me drop stuff, like I was just on salute to Just Dude's channel, and it was somebody, he put a post up that was on Twitter. It was funny. And I was like, yo, Just Dude, what's funny? I said, everybody talk about how Devin fighting old people, but he only fought, like only 5 of those guys were over 30. No, 4 out of the 9 they were over 30. But then I went and I did the resume of Teofimo, and his last, and I actually added people to it. So his last, I got a note right here. Look, right there. His last 12 fights, 2 of the guys was under 30 that he fought. Now that's crazy. But nobody's talking about Teo fighting people that is under 30. Nobody. And that's where we disconnect, because that's when the fanboy stuff happens or the hate happens, regardless of how you look at it. I try not to designate that type of energy to boxers. Like, I love Tank. I love Shakur. I love Teo. Hold on, pause. I don't like Teo. I'm sorry. I'm admit, and I didn't go on Teo that. I respect his boxing sense and his game. I just don't like him because of his energy's bad. I don't like negative energy. But at the same time, like I like Ryan, all these guys. I like all these dudes, man. And Paul.
Right, hold on. I don't mean cut you off.
Let me finish. Let me touch up.
Because I got some people in the backstage I need to bring in.
I know, I got you. But at the end of the day, Richard Parrish, cut that out, bro. At the end of the day, we try to be respectful to these guys, no matter what they are and what my opinions are. I have no end of the day stuff. It is all love, man. At the end of the day, no rainbows though. But at the end of the day, I just want to see all these guys in the ring and compete against each other, because it only makes us as fans more satisfied to boxing, and that's going to bring the outside fans back into boxing, because they're going to be like, "Yo, we got this," and that's what we want at the end of the day. No lie.
Right.
All right,
Yeah, man, I definitely co-sign what you're saying. I'm gonna bring some people in here. I'm gonna bring them in one at a time, right quick. This is I'm gonna let you know we got 3 people in the background. This is gonna be a great panel. I could tell you right now. Well, I got a old school for us. You know what I'm saying? Alumni. You know what I'm saying? Birthed into this space around the same time. So happy he's here. It's his first time being on this platform. I'm so happy he showed up to the platform. I think when you see him, you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. We haven't seen this brother on platforms in a minute, except for the one that we all know. Shout out to the boy Dean in the building. The biggest. Salute, brother.
What's
40
up,
mil bill is what they call him.
Hey,
what's up?
with the signature line.
That's what's up.
It wouldn't be Dean without it.
40 mil bill is
Talk
what
to
they
me.
call
40
him.
mil. Yo,
Look, I got
40 mil
goosebumps, bro. I'm so
bill
happy
now,
my
right?
brother's on
we
here
got a
today.
new one, Dean. We got a new one.
Y'all know
I
every
got
time,
goosebumps.
y'all.
Salute, Dean.
Yo,
Man, I want to say this, y'all.
go ahead.
I've been this month has been crazy for me. If y'all notice, I ain't been up everywhere. I've been it's been just a very hectic. Mom birthday, daughter birthday, family issues and things like that about people I really care about. So, but hit 800 subs today, y'all. And Claymore, I had to come show you love today, bro. 800 in the building, man.
That's
I had to
it,
come
man.
show you love,
That's what's
right?
up.
I mean, I had to come show you love, Claymore, because you always come to my platform, and I haven't been able to come up. But if y'all notice, I ain't been able to be nowhere. But I said, if I gotta go to somebody's shit right now, I gotta go to Claymore because I saw that you was live. I was busy as we really speak, man. And y'all
Right.
my guys. So before y'all, I let these two brothers know how I feel. I just wanted to say that these are my guys. They
Yes,
know.
sir. Yes, sir.
I've been letting them. I've been letting these two guys get away with a bunch of malarkey for weeks now.
No.
Nah, it ain't no.
I know
I
what you're saying.
understand y'all, Ray and Claymore bros. I understand where y'all coming from.
Yeah.
I just want y'all to tell the world, y'all know y'all love Dev. Just
me?
tell them.
It's not,
Oh,
it's
no,
not
no,
like, hold
no,
on.
that's
Before we
right.
get in this conversation,
Claymore.
let me bring in the other two people. That way, because I know this could get long. So I just wanted you to get your intro in right quick. Hold on.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
why you doing that, Dean?
All right, salute. So the next dude I'm gonna bring in,
Oh,
the next dude I'm gonna bring in on the platform. First time on the platform, I go to his platform. It's an honor to have him here, man. It just validates me, legitimizes my platform. This is definitely a cosign within itself, just for him being here. You know what I'm saying? Means a lot to me. Shout out to the boy Just Do in the building. Just Do in the building. Salute,
What's
Just
good
Do.
with it? Salute
Yo.
to Claymore Rain, man. Salute, Ray. What's good with it,
what's
Dean?
good, cuz?
How y'all bros feeling?
Man, what's the
Man, we
deal,
doing
bro?
great. We're doing great, man. Thank you for showing up, man. Thank you for showing up.
I'm
And I'm gonna bring the
always with it.
last.
I'm
Well,
always
you want to do a
down
little
to
intro?
build,
Go
bro.
ahead. Go ahead. You good? Okay. I'm gonna bring in the oldie but goodie. He's foundational for me. Somebody who I respect in the game, and OG knowledge is just, you know, deeper than the deepest wells. You know what I'm saying? This guy will bring up things and give you firsthand accounts because he was present for all the things he's speaking on. He's just a resource that is just, you can't put a price on it. You guys might know him. You've seen him on Blood Boxing. You've seen him on Retro. He's one of those guys. He's my guy, foundational to me. It's your boy Echo, coming straight from England. How you doing, Echo?
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's up?
England in the
Salute,
building.
salute.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me
we got-
okay?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good.
We
Good,
definitely-
good.
Awesome. So look, man, I know he's ready to let it go, and I want him to let it go while it's hot, while it's on the tip of his tongue. You know what I'm saying? Because this man, when he gotta go, you gotta let him do his thing. So Dean, the floor is yours, man. Go ahead, brother.
Ray and Claymore.
Yes, sir.
We all want to fight, good brothers. I understand this. But y'all know damn well, and I have told y'all my big dogs, but y'all hard-headed, man. Y'all know damn well Gervonta is staying with Al Heyman. They signed. It ain't. Listen, man. You got a better chance of seeing pigs fly than Gervonta Davis and Canelo Alvarez not getting this Amazon money. Do you understand me? That's never going to happen. Now, I will say this, Claymore, to my big dog. I am very appreciative of the Saudi Prince willing to invest in boxing. Y'all know how much I love it, y'all. 40 mil bill, what they call them.
Right.
Y'all know how much I love it, y'all. I love it. Y'all, because Claymore and Ray, y'all know how I feel when it comes to the zone and all of them. Y'all need something like this to say, yes, thank you. Please,
Right.
Can you listen to the Saudi Prince and put it somewhere where most people can see it, please? That's just something to put out there also. You know, we're going to be talking about the Saudi princes. Can we talk about them doing a different business strategy then? If they're going, if they want Gervonta's and these type of guys. Listen, man, when you had Canelo Alvarez and he left, that says enough.
Right.
You understand? Right. Now, I'm very appreciative of that. But we all know that's not going to happen, man. If we want these fights, y'all, we got to hold B-side people accountable for being B-sides. Stay in your lane. Just because, listen, y'all, I used to really be a big Canelo fan, but after the whole, y'all know, okay, right?
Bad taco meat. We got you.
You understand, right?
Okay.
I would never tell David Benavidez And I like David Benavidez more than I like Canelo right at this moment. I think most of us kind of feel the same way. I would never tell David Benavidez that he doesn't. It is on him to put himself in position to fight this man. This man got 4, 5, 6 fights and just line them up. It's going to do 500,000 pay-per-views. Dev left the division, y'all. Gervonta don't owe that man anything. Especially somebody that's been talking down on my name. Think about this. You know what's so funny about y'all? Because if Claymore and Ray Davis was Gervonta Davis, they would make the beef side suffer. You said what?
Hold on. Let me clarify 2 things. Because at the end of the day, yes, he left the division. And I'm on a record saying that fight's not going to happen. I don't even want to see it anymore unless he comes.
No, Ray, we can't do that.
I'm on record for saying, hold on. And I said that. And then at the end of the day, yes, he his daddy, and this is why they say daddies are bad for boxing. I think again, shout out to Just Do, just dropped the release tape. Sean Porter even said it. This is why dads and are bad for boxing, because they put you out there and then you got to fight them. You know what I mean? You got to go back it up for your dad. You know what I mean? So I get that. But what his dad does is not necessarily, he responds. Remember, Tank sometimes throws shots too. He does it, takes them down, and Devin responds to him. At the end of the day, they all boxers, bro. This is what they did back in the day.
See, Ray, look how you put that. Do you mean that Devin takes shots at Tank and then Tank responds?
I didn't. Oh, that's you didn't hear me clearly. I said even though Devin does it, but not as much. Tank puts shots up there and he takes them down, and Devin sometimes responds to that. Is what I said.
Okay, all right. On that, right? Yeah, okay.
So at the end of the day, we got to look at it as they're boxers, and like I said, back in the day, this is all they did was do this. They didn't have social media. We just seeing it live because we have access to it. If we didn't have access to all that, you think we would, you know what I mean, see them at arenas with each other. They'll be talking, they'll be taking pictures with each other, and then clout chasing in front of the cameras.
But Ray, my problem be though, Ray, if everybody says that they want this fight, or especially on Devin's side, as much as they say, then why aren't they pressing the buy button? That's the part y'all can't explain to Demon. Right. Y'all know y'all can't.
Wait, hold on, Ray. Let me tap in a little bit here, and then I also want to bring it around the room. I don't want to just be us three here going at it. I understand, Claymore. So I want to tap in to say that, look, man, as hard as it is for people to believe me when I say I have no horse in the race except for a fight, that's really the facts, right? So somebody from my position, I have to entertain both sides, right? Clearly, I see Gervonta Tank Davis's side and how he's the A side and how he needs Devin to really concede to what he wants in order for Devin to get what he wants. I can see his point of view. Whether I can see or not, I have to at least, at a minimum, acknowledge Devin Haney's point of view, because it takes both of those guys to fight. So if the agreement can't be made that Devin Haney's going to concede to Gervonta Tank Davis and make this fight made, and there's a third wild card option that is unusual, it's not there for everybody, but this wild card option has come into the arena and said, listen, I can give both you guys potentially what you want. Devin, I can give you a fair share. I can give you a good payday that you feel like you deserve. I can also give Gervonta Tank Davis a payday that he deserves. And the only thing that we need to work out here outside of the money, where the money's no longer an issue, is where the fight's going to happen at. I think that, and this is based off the conversation I had earlier with Fanon, to say that if the reward is the biggest thing for Gervonta Tank Davis, then yes, I would say go ahead and entertain and figure out, send your people, whatever you need to do, have Al find out just to confirm one way or another if there's a dollar sign there that might raise your eyebrow and possibly make this fight possible. Now, to add to that, to say that I'm also equally okay with Devin Haney and Tank Davis not fighting. I feel that's okay. Devin Haney's in a 140-pound weight class division. There are plenty of opportunities for him in that division to expand on his legacy and make good money. Turki Alalshikh has already made it clear that he'll do business with him regardless. So he's going to see money at some point. At some point now, it doesn't even matter. As long as the Saudi's there, there's an opportunity for him there. But if I push at all for this thing to turn out in any kind of way where Tank Davis is talking to Saudi, it's simply in the spirit of giving him what he wants. And although you guys might feel like Devin Haney doesn't deserve, it doesn't change the fact that it seems as if he's not going to budge unless he gets something that's going to make him happy. And us as fans putting the fight first, there's nothing wrong with Saudi Arabia being able, if they can facilitate that, being able to give both those gentlemen what they want. I'm going to come back around, you guys. I'm going to bring it down to Just Do. Just Do, how do you feel about this?
Pardon me.
Sure.
Say it again. My bad. I was on mute over here.
Now he was just asking how you felt about what he said.
Right. Do you need a minute? I can
No.
send
What was it? What was y'all talking about? Pardon me.
Well, ultimately, Dean pretty much set the temperature, right? And basically said that, it's clear the path to a fight between Devin Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis is going to be tied up in Devin Haney respecting the fact that Gervonta Tank Davis is the A side and that he needs to do B side things to make the fight happen. Ultimately, I said I agree with. But if Saudi Arabia can facilitate something to where Devin Haney can be happy with what's coming out of it, and Tank Davis doesn't have to lose out on what he wants, that I feel like if the fight is going to happen, it's nothing wrong with Gervonta Tank Davis sending out his feelers to find out or confirm what kind of opportunities are with the Saudis. But what's your opinion on it?
Nah, right. I'm with you. I mean, I think ultimately the biggest issue is, oddly enough, is the business and the pride and ego that both guys are dealing with making this fight. Reason I say this, we clearly know they're weight class apart, right? And I think for the fight to be made, they got to be willing to kind of come in the middle to some degree. I understand Tank being the A side and things like that, but I think guys they kind of got to meet in the middle. Neither guy should have to make all the concessions. You get what I'm saying? I understand the leverage and the A side that Tank Davis has, but if we really being honest about this fight being made, I think that's the only way. Somebody has to give up something.
Let me say this to y'all, just the reason why I have such a problem with that, y'all, and they know what I'm about to bring up. Devin wasn't willing to do that with Shakur.
True.
It can't just be Tank do this and everybody else can do that.
Right.
Devin has showed that when he's the A side, he plays hard ball. But we mad at Gervonta.
Right.
And let me say this: we don't know that Al Heyman don't know what's going on over there, because last time I checked, Deontay Wilder for it over there also. Now, whether he's fully under the PBC, I know he still deals and associates with them, especially from a business aspect. So we don't even know what Al knows, and Al don't confirm nothing. So the part I have is we talking like Amazon is just, we don't even know what Amazon has planned. We can't put that on Gervonta or anybody else when we don't even know what they are getting paid from the biggest company in the world.
True.
We don't even know what they're doing over there, to be honest.
Right.
And this just my last point, and I'm gonna let the rest of y'all just respond to what I said. This is my last point. Gervonta Davis is going to reap the. We're talking about the man as if it's close in negotiations, y'all. If it was close in negotiations, as if the other guy is not that much more of a B-side than the other, then I would be feeling what y'all saying. But I told Claymore and Ray Davis, he better sell at least 75,000 pay-per-views, or you can't say anything to Gervonta Davis about anything. Because I don't gain nothing from fighting you. I gained Devin Haney fans saying Gervonta fought me. Because Gervonta, the people that's not on that side of the fence, we know what's going on. We already know how good this man is. He fights somebody, he fights Shakur Stevenson, we'll give him. There's people like me that know Shakur Stevenson better than Devin. It's a lot closer, Ray and Clay, we talked about after that De Los Santos fight.
All right,
hold on. I'll just add, I want to bring 2 cents into the conversation. I just want to say two things real quick. Number one, I don't want Tank to give up his A side privileges. I'm definitely strictly speaking on him maintaining the same reward, the same the idea of what he could make from it. I want him to walk away with what he deserves. I think the biggest thing right here is being comfortable with Devin Haney also getting what he might want out of the situation at the same time. 2 cents. You're in the building. What do you feel about the topic?
Hold on, let me jump up. Hold on 2 cents before you join. Let me just rebuttal really fast. So you brought up Shakur. No disrespect to Shakur, but there was something on the line with the A side with that Shakur fight. And those were 4 belts. That's a status that's in the top of the game that people are trying to achieve. Unfortunately, Tank's side is about the bag. We already established that. Shakur said it himself. If I fight Devin, it's for the belt. If I fight Tank, it's for the bag. So with that being said, he had offered him what he said, because obviously he put it out there that he didn't care what the amount was. So when you put it out there, sometimes you stick your foot in your mouth, and then when they made offers to him, regardless of what he accepted or not, or he felt he was worth, that actually hurt him by saying that. It's the same thing that Frank said when Shakur called him out. If I had the opportunity to fight for a championship, I would have took 25%. They offered it to him. What he do?
But Ray, did they offer it to him? Because Bob Arum said they did.
To Frank Martin?
Wait, hold on a second, guys. Just wait a second. I really need to get
kick back on it. We'll kick back on it.
We'll come right back to it. I just need to get 2 cents in here. I do not want to leave her in the dark. 2 cents. Welcome to the platform. I really appreciate you coming out. She also has her own channel. And she's doing her thing. She's actually moving faster than I am. You know what I'm saying? She's doing her thing for real. So I appreciate her showing up. I appreciate you being here. Definitely interested in your input on the topic.
Salute to the queen.
Peace to the queen.
Well, I'm gonna drop my 2 cents. Let me preface by saying I'm not no boxing historian, and I don't know everything about boxing. A lot of people like to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. But as far as the situation goes, my 2 cents, I think, like Clay was saying earlier, if it's about the reward and it's about the money, then maybe Saudi could work something out for Tank. But we also got to consider how Tank received his award. He receives it from his fan base, the people that buy his fights, the people that go to his fights. He's doing record-breaking gates. He can't do that type. He can't do that type of stuff in Saudi Arabia. And to Dean's point, and the point that I've been making the whole entire time, they're on a brand new network. Tank is one of PBC's top fighters. Why? To me, it's kind of low-key disrespectful to even ask him to go fight anywhere else right now. He hasn't even fought on the network yet. He hasn't even fought on Prime yet. So I'm not understanding what the big deal is. And if you ask me, my 2 cents, it seems as though
I love when she say that.
Devin is clamoring about how he wants to fight and this and that. But let's be honest, Devin has never really put himself in a position to fight Tank Davis. He's had plenty of opportunities to do so. He went from Matchroom to Top Rank back to Matchroom. He's always had something lined up. He's never really put himself in a position to fight Tank. And now all of a sudden they see an opportunity to make these millions and millions of dollars, and now it's Tank. Do you really want the fight, or do you really want the money? Because if you can make this money without Tank with the Saudis, then why don't you just do that? Why does it have to be Tank? Why are we putting out the propaganda to try to shame Tank into taking this fight, which would, in my opinion, constitute him doing bad business? Al is not about to let you go over there that you haven't even fought on Prime yet. You haven't fought one time. I could see if he had been fighting a year or two, a couple of fights, then maybe. But to be speaking that right now and try to make it seem as though Tank is ducking, no. Why isn't the fans saying, Devin, why don't you just do what they're asking you to do in order to get the fight? So this isn't about, in my opinion, oh, let's see who the best Devin can beat Tank. No, this is about Bill wanting to get millions of dollars and eat and feed off of Tank's name without putting in the work to do so. The PBC model is not guaranteed. They're getting paid off the back end. So yes, when you're fighting somebody that's asking for big money, everybody's like, oh, well, what about such and such? They have to have pay-per-view number, because they're not asking for $20 million. They're not asking for that guaranteed.
Okay.
You get paid off of what you earn. So if you're not earning anything coming in, you're not going to get no 60-40 split off the back end when you're not producing that. So I think that's a perspective that a lot of people aren't looking at when it comes to this. People just think all money is good money. It's not. It's not. You have to think about
Right.
the future and what's going to happen after you get this 20 million. You've alienated your fan base. This one of the biggest fights. You're doing record-breaking gates, and you're going to take it all the way across the country. It just doesn't make any sense. And if Devin really wants to fight, call Al.
Okay.
Hey,
All right.
2 cents. That was really a valuable input that you really put there. It really put some perspective on that me personally, I never took into consideration like that, you know. And I think, you know, it's respectful to Abdul Wahid that if that's how he feels about it, as I mentioned earlier, I'm okay with the fight not happening right now. There's plenty of opportunities for Devin at 140 that might be ultimately what needs to happen. And if Tank is trying to build a better relationship and can take into consideration the new platform that's been put together between Amazon and PBC, and that's the priority right now, I have no issues with him doing that. You know, we can leave it be. You know, if his answer is, if that's what it is, we can leave it be. And even if that's not what it is,
Claymore and Ray, can I say this? Just
let me finish real quick. Let me
hold
jump
on,
in.
Ray. Let me say this to y'all, just to put this in the brain off of what 2 cents said.
right?
We're asking something of Tank we're not even sure he can do contractually, legally. Just put that out there. If they signed that deal with Amazon, I think all of us up here that's reasonable, we know. We don't know, but what you say earlier on Fanon channel, see, Claymore, you think I don't be watching. I be watching, my guy. I don't know, but I kinda know. That he's probably already signed into a deal that he just can't get out of because people want him to.
We understand that. I mean,
that's all. So that's my thing, Ray, is we being realistic about what we're asking. We can only ask for something that's realistic. Right. If we know that Gervonta is under contract right now, how could he sign with the Saudis? If all of us up here, we don't know. Hold on, Ray. If all of us up here don't know, but do kind of know that Devin will be fighting Sandor Martin next. That's all.
Okay. So at the end of the day, I agree with everything you're saying. No one is telling anybody that they have to go anywhere. I think what we're overhearing things and extending ourselves to the thoughts of what our opinions are. We're just saying we want to see the fight, and that offers an opportunity. Second thing is, I agree with 2 cents 100% on a lot of things in that statement, a lot. But the point I think what we were missing in that is that, one, Devin does bring something to the table, regardless of what you think. He is an accomplished fighter, and he is what the fans want as an opponent for Tank. So that right there brings something of significance. Number two, he has been calling Tank out for years. He's been at the same division since Tank moved up to 135 for 4 or 5 years. I think it's 5 years going on now. So that's another thing. And then he did call out other fighters. No problem with Ryan calling out Tank for those same years, which I think was about the last 3 years. And he got the fight, regardless of him having a fan base on YouTube or Instagram.
You can't say regardless.
Hold on. Let me say.
Oh, damn, we got people in the back right now too. Hold on, let me just bring these 2 people in real quick as well. Just real quick. I'm not going to stop you. Let me just bring them in officially. Absolutely. I didn't even realize guys, I apologize for leaving y'all in the back like that. I'm getting used to this StreamYard app. I didn't even realize there was another row. Salute to you guys. No disrespect. Please humbly take my apologies. Welcome back, Echo in the building. And also we have Richard Paris, an alumni of our favorite
Richard Paris, my God.
Fanon, you know what I'm saying, platform. Thank you for being up here. I'm going to send it right back to you, Ray, so you can finish your thought as well, and then we can move on.
There's no disrespect to what Tank is offering. We're just saying that, again, we just want to see these great fighters collide. It doesn't matter if it's, like I said, Shakur, Tio, whoever. They all called out Tank. Every single one of them. Why? Because Tank is the payday for them. He is the bread and butter for them. All these fighters have done it. Doesn't mean that Tank has to say no because your dad talks a lot of crap and we don't want to get out of here and we don't want to deal with you or we're going to make you pay. Basically, that actually becomes like the kid that takes his ball away from everybody that's playing in the playground because he's mad he ain't getting a chance to kick the ball.
But Ray, you only putting that on Tank.
No,
hold on.
I am not. Let me.
No, you got to go just as hard at Tio, Shakur, Devin, all the rest, because none of them have fought each other. Only Tank has fought another 4 king. Only Tank has fought one of the other top guys that we was considering.
Well, also he's the only 4 king that stayed at 135 when all of them else moved up.
That's not his, and he's also smaller than every last single one of them.
Hold on. Let me finish. So I got that. So if we're going to touch that,
he's the only one also, Ray, that's in his third weight division.
Dean, let me finish. I'll let you finish. Let me finish because we're not debating in that order. We're actually trying to keep it cordial.
No, Ray, what I'm saying is let's talk about facts at every point. When you say that, then I'm going to say,
and I am trying to bring all the facts in, but you're not letting me. So every time you cut me off,
yeah, let's let Ray finish his thought.
What I'm trying to say.
So wait, hold on. Wait. Let Ray finish his thought. Also, Deem, I'm going to let you get into, but I also want to bring in Richard Paris and Echo without a doubt, especially Echo because he was here and actually left because we were taking so long, and now he's back. So I don't want these guys getting caught up in these private conversations. It seems like at times. So let's get the thoughts out, man. Let's just see what it is right now.
I'm a bottle real quick. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, and it's not just Tank's fault. Tank is the man. Because Tank is the man, that's why he's in demand. Because they want to fight who's at the top of the game of money also. But when you have a guy that actually had the belt at the same division, they wanted to see that fight. Why? Because you had the People's Champ versus the Undisputed Champ. And they wanted that fight. It never happened. So that's going to always be a fantasy fight for everyone, regardless of who's calling who's out, whose name's in the Raptors, and who's on the sign sheets, who's fan of fans, or whatever. It doesn't matter because it's a dream fight, and we all want to see it. At the end of the day, I don't care who Tank fights next. I don't care who Devin fights next. I don't care who Shakur fights next. None of those guys. We just want to see the great fights, regardless of the four kings or not. We just want to see the great fights. If you can't make it because of division, weight separation, weight gain after fights, or whatever the case may be, so be it. It's not hurting me. It's hurting them. I'm not pocket watching, none of that. So what I'm saying is, yeah, I get it. But when you take a fight with Hector Garcia, right, a guy you brought up in weight, remember, he brought him up to fight him because he was a champion at a lower weight. No one complained about that. So we also have to be a constituent of that and remember that. Now, at the same time, I get it. You also brought a guy down in weight, which is not a problem. So Tank has a lot of leeway. He's the A side. I get that, but we have to understand that what's good for the goose is good for the gander in certain situations. Now, we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, I don't care if they fight or not, and I'm not trying to debate if who's better and why they should call each other out. That's not me.
All right. So I want to bring in Echo real quick because he was really waiting for a while. I don't know if Echo can hear us or if you want to tap into the conversation. I know you're sitting back there watching paint dry at this point. How you doing, Echo? How do you feel about the topic?
Good. I'm good, guys. I'm good. All
right. Did you want to give any input or are you just comfortable right now just listening for now?
Well, the lady that came on, she gave some really great what do you call it? Points. I thought that was really good what she did.
Yeah, 2 cents. Gave her 2 cents. Yeah.
And as far as people saying that people are ducking and whatever, I mean, you've got to give a reason why you think somebody would be ducking, and for what what are really valid reasons for ducking somebody. It's not just easy just because somebody doesn't fight somebody.
Right.
Exactly.
It's not 100%. Just about that. I mean, did Sugar Ray Leonard duck Marvin Hagler in the rematch? That's a question.
No, because he retired, didn't he?
Well, yeah. But that's the question. Did he retire to duck him? Like, did he do it so he wouldn't? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. You see what I mean? So, I mean, a lot of people thought that Ray should have given him a rematch. I did as well. I thought he should have given him a rematch. But,
right.
But I really believe Tank he should fight Frank Martin.
100%.
Oh, definitely.
That would be a good fight. And Theo, it would be better off fighting probably Theo.
Well, he's fighting Ortiz right now, and that's a great fight for him.
Yeah, that's a good fight. Yeah, but I think the ideal fight for him would be Haney. That would be a good fight.
Right. Okay.
But there's no guarantee he can get by Ortiz, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a very competitive fight. Very, I think once again, one of those fights that's going to be more competitive than people might want to give credit to. If you're sleeping on Jermaine Ortiz, I think you're sleeping on a live dog. Freaking Flyer in the building. Salute the Freaking Flyer. He is definitely also a foundational person, alumni to this channel. Had him back there drying like paint. You know what I mean? He said he's 60 years old now. I apologize. For putting all those years on you, Frequent. We're gonna try to make it quality for the rest of the years you got left. We're gonna try to make them quality, Freaking. You want to tap in? How do you feel about the topic?
Well, hold on, you forgot Richard Parrish. You forgot Richard.
Oh no, Richard. Oh, Richard's right there in the middle. I'm sorry. No, yeah, let Richard pop up. I'm so sorry, Richard.
Claymore,
you know what it is?
You got your glasses on or not, man?
Well, he moved. He was over there where Echo was at, so I thought he bounced out. It was Just Do that bounced out.
No, Just Do dropped off.
Right. My bad.
Claymore got some fashion glasses on to try to look smart.
you know what I mean? They designer. You know what I mean? Little Gucci.
Hey, listen, that doctor got to up that prescription.
It's about Dean wrote it's about that time for me to renew my prescription. No lie, I was talking to my wife. I got to go back there and get it renewed. So you might be right.
I want to say 2 cents. Kind of touched on a lot of things I wanted to say already. You know what I mean? She made some very strong points.
Yes.
But what I was saying earlier in the chat was that I think today was making a very generalized observation. Most of the time when you have these cash cows, Tank being one of them, it's really hard to kind of incentivize him to fight any particular guy. You know what I mean? He was trying to ask you today what sets Devin apart from, let's say, other fights within 135 that he could probably make a similar bag, because there are within 135. So why take the risk going up to 140 when he can stay in his weight class and probably make the same? You know what I mean? And he was also saying that Saudi wants Tank. They don't necessarily need to attach Devin to Tank to invite him over there for a fight.
Right. I'll respond to that.
That was the premise of his argument today. You know what I mean? So I think he was just trying to figure out. I hear Ray talking about, Tank. Devin has so much to offer, but like he said, Tank, for the fans, for the hardcore fans, to cement Tank's legacy, we would want to see him fight guys that are higher up on that pound for pound list. But Tank always said he doesn't care about that.
Right.
Okay, I want to respond to that as well real quick about as far as like I understand that point, and I also want to take a chance that you guys see on the screen 2 Cents Boxing. She threw her link up in the chat. Please, if you guys aren't already subscribed to her, please subscribe to her. If you like what she said on here, trust me, that's what she do. So if you like it, you get a lot of that over there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So to Richard Parrish, I when I get in those debates up there with Fanon, sometimes the narrative, you get kind of painted into a corner, and it might look like I'm representing something I don't want to represent, right? So what do I mean by that? I hold no issue with Tank Davis not fighting Devin Haney. It doesn't have to be Devin Haney. I think the whole standpoint that maybe Fanon was taking with that conversation was that he felt like those fights, it was leaving the United States to go to Saudi that was the issue, right? And well, it looks like the Saudi will not be interested in financing fights that aren't happening in Saudi, right? So if Tank wants to go ahead and get another 135 pounder, like a Frank Martin or Shakur Stevens or something like that, and make it happen over in Saudi, he's free to do that. And I'm here to watch that, right? I think the biggest thing that I was bringing to the table was we just don't know the limitations, how big, how small, how great of an opportunity, how lucrative or not lucrative the opportunity is without Tank getting some sort of confirmation written confirmation as far as what his options are with them, because he very well may look at the opportunity once he sees it written out in front of him and then make a calculated, educated decision to say, nah, this is not for me. It's really not worth it for me. Also, to add on to what 2 Cents was saying a little bit earlier, as far as Tank leaving PBC or leaving Al Heyman to go to, sign with Saudi Arabia, I wouldn't expect him to do that. And I almost want to say, based off of what Turki Alalshikh said, that he made it clear that he reached out to Al Heyman to coordinate something, which automatically means that he's acknowledging that PBC would have to be involved and included and benefit from whatever deal was coming, whatever deal was going to get worked out. So I don't think whatever Saudi Arabia is offering is necessarily negating any type of agreement or anything he's made with Al Heyman. But Amazon being the wild card in the conversation, only a conversation between Al and Saudi could really figure out if he's talking about leaving if they're talking about him leaving Amazon to come over there, or if they're just talking about a one-off situation to where they can coordinate a big fight. But you know, honoring, because 2 Cents really dropped some gold. Like really, I had to take into consideration some things that I really was not thinking about until she said that. But just to respond to Richard Paris as to that's where I was coming from. It wasn't about Tank only fighting Devin Haney. It wasn't about Tank not fighting other 135 pounders in Saudi Arabia. It was more so just focused on, we don't know a lot of things clearly going on right now. And I was just, you know, saying that maybe Tank and his team might take consideration to reach out there and find out exactly what opportunities are out there, if there's any wiggle room in there for them to make it work for them. And if there isn't any wiggle room for them to work it out for them, I have no problem for them walking away and being successful like they've already been where they're at right now. Okay?
Can I make a point real quick?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Richard, Ray, Clay, Dean, all of y'all, appreciate y'all for you know, taking my points into consideration. But I also want to take into the point that a lot of times, a lot of the frustration, just to give my 2 cents, comes from people wanting to hold fighters to standards that they're not holding themselves to. Tank has never held himself to a standard of being on the pound for pound list, getting all these belts and doing this and doing that. He's never held himself to that standard. But Devin, on the other hand, has. So I made a video a while back where I was saying, when they were at 135, like, you got these 2 fighters and they're doing 2 different things. You got one fighter fighting for legacy and belts, and that's great. The boxing world needs that. You got one fighter that's entertaining, he knocking people out, he's selling out. That's great. The boxing world needs that. So when you intertwine the 2, it's kind of like, oh, well, Devin got the belts, he's undisputed, and it's, oh, well, Tank make this much money. So that's kind of where the argument comes from, because you're trying to hold Tank to a standard that he himself is not even holding himself to. So of course it's going to be about the money. Of course he's going to want to know how much he's going to make and all of that stuff. So I think that's also where a lot of the frustration comes from. We need to hold the fighters that to the standards that they hold their own self to, instead of trying to force it upon them.
For real. Hey, you got
2 Cents. You doing your thing today, by the way, girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, yo, 2 Cents. Listen to me, yo. You doing it for real, girl. Like, yo, come back on here. Don't make me chase you down either next time. Because if I don't see you here in the next, like, you got like 2 or 3 breaks you could take, but after that, I'm gonna track you down and find out what.
Every time I come on here, people in your chat telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, man.
You know how it is. You know how it is.
I got yelled at.
Yeah,
I got yelled at for
what you're talking about.
You gotta earn your respect, and you're earning it today. You know, it could be like that, but don't make me chase you down. I really don't want to have to do that to you. I don't want to make it ugly and awkward, okay? But
I like talking with people with, you know, different perspectives. That's what keeps it interesting.
Yeah, I don't want to make it awkward and have you feeling like, you know, I'm stalking you or something. So please don't make it that way. Just do the right thing. Anyway,
hey, Ray and Claymore, I'm about to jump.
One more thing before I go, because I'm gonna jump back in the chat.
Okay.
One thing for you and Ray to consider, right? The way that the PBC and them has done business for a while, they're very, very tight-lipped about anything and everything PBC. So we don't know if him and the Saudi prince spoke already.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're just assuming that they haven't spoken. Because that interview was out maybe almost a week ago. Maybe him and Al spoke already. We don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? We don't know any of the details of the deal that they got, the Amazon deal. We don't know anything that's going on.
Right.
Even with regard to the fight with Devin, we don't know if Al and the Zone are in conversations for a fight with Devin.
Correct.
We just won't know. I'm pretty sure Richard, even to get Al into a room, you probably have to sign NDAs and all of that. Just
because he don't like to be seen.
No, you're
go ahead, Dean, because I know you're trying to go too. Frequent, I apologize. You're gonna get your moment to do your thing, but we got 2 guys getting ready to leave. I feel bad. I'm trying to maintain and moderate and be that guy. So Frequent, I appreciate your patience. Go ahead, Dean. Go ahead.
It ain't as easy as it looks on Clay.
Nah, man.
It ain't easy, Clay. That's what I be telling y'all, Clay. It ain't easy.
Definitely. I respect you guys. It's not easy.
Right.
I just want to say this because I want my bro to Frequent the cook, because that's my bro. I just want y'all to know Frequent is my guy. Philly in the building. Even though we don't agree on half of the stuff, when we agree on Earl Smith, but we don't agree on Devin and Tank and all that. But I just want my bro to get his just due. But I will say this, y'all. At the end of the day, I believe if y'all think anything is going on in boxing and Al Heyman is not aware or in contact with these people, I don't think that's us really being honest with ourselves, the boxing community, and everybody else. That's one. Deontay Wilder already fought there. So I have reason to believe, remember what I said, Claymore, 40 mil bill, what they call them. I got reason to believe Al's probably already talked to him already, like Richard said. But my other thing is, I'm going to leave with this. I stand on being consistent, Ray and Clay. Y'all know how I am.
Oh, absolutely.
When I tell people all the time, when Terrence Crawford ducked his head to get in the ring and Earl Spence ducked his head to get in the ring, what do I say all the time, y'all? I do not care after that. I don't care with this person. Ding, ding. Okay? Who's the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Ray and Clay? Who number one?
Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford.
And Terrence Crawford had to take his B-side ass to PBC and set the fight up that he actually wanted. I'm going to drop the mic there. I'll holler at y'all.
Hold on. Dean, don't leave. Oh, man. I needed him to step to the front of the congregation, man.
He in the chat. He in the chat, man. Get at him. Get at him. He can hear you. Get at him.
He'll jump up if he has
to. He jumped off, man. I can't even ask him the question.
He'll come back. You already know how he is. He don't duck his phone. You say the right thing, he coming back.
He like a Rottweiler, bro. You ain't getting in that gate without him coming at you.
It'd be like, yo, Dean, you're ugly. You're ugly. Don't nobody like you. You got smelly feet. Nah, if you a man, come up here and defend your honor.
No, I just wanted to ask him about something he said. That's all. Yeah, I mean, it could happen another time. But yeah, y'all, salute to everybody on the panel. Salute to the chat. Y'all already know what it is when y'all see me. Kano's Clan in the building.
Early.
Bang, bang, rehydration gang.
Early.
But yeah, I just want to say I don't think that the fight is going to happen in Saudi Arabia. I think that would be foolish for Al Heyman and them to let Tank go over there and fight, in Saudi Arabia. Give up his A side and all of that stuff. So Dean was right about that. I just wanted to ask him about how he saw some things. But yeah, so that being said, I don't think the fight is going to happen. But I just have a question for all of these Tank fans that keep saying they don't want Tank to go over there and fight in Saudi Arabia because he'll be giving up his A side, his A side position. My question is, what do that entail? Like, because we know that if they let the fight happen over in Saudi Arabia, that there's no A side. Basically, both fighters be getting paid what they want to get, what they're looking for, to make the fight. I guess that negotiations will go like that. So, giving up his A side, what are they talking about? Like his ability to have it at his weight class or the weight class that he want to have it at? That's only leading to the fight not happening. And if you ask me, that's why the fight is not happening here. Because one guy's at 135, the other guy is at 140. And I think that's where the problem is, the rehydration clause or catch weight or whatever you want to call it, even though Tank hasn't been vocal about any of that, because he hasn't been entertaining it as far as making the fight. I ain't hear nothing from that side as far as any terms or anything like that. All we heard is from Bill saying what Devin Haney wasn't going to accept. He wasn't going to go to 135 to make the fight. He wasn't going to deal with no rehydration clauses or catch weights. And so that's all we know. But that's my question. Like, what do that mean? You're saying that you don't want him to go over there to give up his A side position. So what are you expecting? What is it besides the money?
Yeah, I know. Because I know Ray wants to cook. You know what I'm saying? That he be cooking, so I don't want to stop him cooking.
No, I'm not. Actually, I was going to ask him because somebody in the chat asked what does giving up his A side mean? I wanted him to define that in his sense, or if anybody else wants to touch on that. I'll really just quickly connect on that. I don't think he can get up his A side unless he just decides to not give us the fans what he wants, and all that's going to do is just turn the fans away. You're never going to get up your A side because you're the star of the sport. I mean, you can't give up his A side. There's no way. I don't care what platform he goes to, what he fights on, what contract he breaks, he is the currently the second biggest star in the sport. So we're going to always tune in to watch him. I know I am, because that's what Tank does. He sits butts in the seats, and that's what we like. Pause frequent, because I know you. But that's what we like about him. But y'all can touch base on it.
Too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question too. I don't know if nobody think it's weird to leave a weight class and then continuously to call out a smaller fighter. Like, imagine if Boots was like, "Let's go, Devin. Let's go. Come, huh?"
You shouldn't do that. You should stay.
Like, imagine if Boots was calling out. It's all plenty people for Boots to fight at 47, but he's like, "No, Devin, let's go. You ducking. Like, dude, you're out of the weight class. Why are you going when there's plenty of killers you can fight at 140? Why are you quote unquote picking on a 135 pounder? I'm not saying he's picking on him. I'm just saying."
I can respond to that.
I'll touch on it and let you go frequent real quick. So I think in the case that you're right, 2 cents for the most part. I think the reason why that has happened is because one, let me just say this. Devin's not the only 140 pounder that has called out Tank. We have about 7 140 guys that called him out. And Tank has shown interest one time by going to 140, even though he said he didn't want to do it again. So I think people see that, like, as he's getting older, he may approach that line of 140 because, it's going to be harder to make weight at 135. If he doesn't have a trouble making 135, let him stay there. Guys, leave him alone. I'm all for that. But as far as like someone like Devin being called out by Boots, I mean, we keep interacting Devin and Boots. That's a really bad fantasy fight. I don't think anybody wants to see Boots and Devin. But I do understand where you're coming from. That's a little weird. But the media plays a part in it, and it sparks. And what is, see, Bill's a promoter. So when it's being said, I think it's doing it in promotion of his son to bring the biggest name in the sport, to bring some power to the team. Now, is it backfiring on him? Sometimes, but also it's one of those things when you're the heel of the sport that people jump on that and they're like, "Yo, who is this guy?" And some people like the heel as much as they like the hero. So we got to look at it in both sides of the fence on that. I'm not, like I said, I don't have no dog in the fight on that, but I know what you mean. Go ahead.
Go ahead, frequent.
Yeah. 2 cents. You said, why is he calling out somebody in the lower weight class? That's what you said, right?
Yeah. It's clear.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I probably would be asking that question too had Tank not fought at 140 already, and even though it was a secondary title, he got a title up there. He fought somebody with a title. So it's not like he's calling somebody out to fight in the weight class that they haven't fought in.
Sure.
I think it's just and then you had a lot of people complaining about a lot of things that Tank not even complaining about himself. We see that Sean Porter was basically poking at the same thing, and Tank got mad with him for doing it. But still, you have a lot of fans running around saying, "Oh, he's itty bitty, he's so small," and all of that. Oh, he left the weight class. He's at 140. Why he want to fight somebody at 135 when Tank is, getting mad at people for bringing up stuff like that? He's saying, "Why would I be afraid to fight him at 140?" Because he already been up there, and he probably think that he ain't come out and say it, but it seemed like he think Devin can't punch from the statement that he made in the tweet.
Yeah, but I also Sean essentially called him scared. So he probably
he didn't use the word scared though. He didn't say that. He said that he don't think the fight will happen because of that.
Right. I don't think he used the word scared. I think he was speaking from a boxer's point of view, and he was making sense of it, just to say that it doesn't make sense. Gervonta's already, he basically was speaking from what was already said, that Gervonta Tank Davis has already said his position on how Devin needs to fight him, and that seeing him, it's almost like he put himself in the shoes of Gervonta to say, seeing Devin get big like that and how he performed at that weight class, that was just going to be too much of a too many adversities in that fight for him to do that. He's not going to ever agree to fight a Devin Haney who's that big and who's that. But, you know, Gervonta expressed that don't talk about the size, because the size, the weight is not really the issue here for me. So I think when Frequent is talking about people speaking for Gervonta, I think it's possible that Gervonta Davis doesn't put that much weight or emphasis on the weight situation as much as his fans do, that he's actually willing to do a lot more, take some certain risks that you guys may not be on the same page with him on, and there might be other boxes that aren't being checked outside of the weight being an issue. But also I wanted to add to say that as far as Devin Haney calling out Tank Davis at 140 and, you know, leaving the 135 weight pound division to wait, almost like to start being motivated to fight Tank, I think there's no secrets that Devin Haney was having a real hard time making the weight at 135, and that he was a depleted fighter. He had no power in his punches, and he didn't want to fight somebody like Tank Davis not being in his most optimal shape. So it was no secret that he was going to move to 140, that the only reason he hung back at 135 was for an opportunity to become undisputed and fight in Australia and fight Lomachenko. But he did as much as he could at that weight class. He went up to 140. But look, Tank is well within his right to not take the fight because it's at 140. But once again, going back to what Frequent Flyer said, it would seem as if, from the outside looking in, just looking at all the information that's coming across the table, it would seem as if the weight thing isn't necessarily the issue that's getting in the way of this fight happening. You know,
there's also the question: did Santa Cruz call out Tank? Because Tank definitely moved down to fight Leo Santa Cruz, or did Tank call him out? That's a question. What about Hector Garcia? You know, he has moved down to fight people too.
Yeah, he moved down.
So we're talking about Devin moving down. You're saying that he can move down to 135, but like Claymore said, we already saw the effect. We saw him looking like Skeletor.
Yeah, I don't want to see him. I didn't even think that it made sense for him to even send Shakur offer at 135, because you know you're going to be too depleted at that weight. Nobody wants to see you. We want to see you fight at the best. You be in there looking weight drained trying to fight Shakur. Like, I didn't even think that fight would happen. The offer didn't even make any sense to me from the jump, because the way you looked in your last fight at 135, why would anybody think you about to fight another fight at 135? So to me, that didn't even make sense.
So
yeah, so I mean, ultimately, it's either, if the fight is going to happen on a fair playing field, if it's going to happen on a playing field to where Devin Haney has his best opportunity, has a great opportunity to win the fight, and Tank Davis has his best opportunity, it would just seem more realistic if we're trying to see that fair fight for it to happen at 140, based on the fact that Gervonta Tank Davis has successfully performed at 140, won himself a championship up there. And if Devin Haney's comfortable at 140, then if we're trying to see a fair fight and a great fight and a history-making fight, that would be where the fight should happen, so that there's no excuses like what happened with Ryan Garcia, where I was depleted, I had rehydration clauses, and we didn't get to see him fight a healthy, we could say, Ryan Garcia. It would seem like the fair place for it to happen, if both fighters could agree on it, would be at 140.
And I got a little pushback.
Can I just say something?
Hold on, 2 cents. Go ahead. He's been quiet. Go ahead, Echo.
Yeah, Tank made them go up. I mean, Santa Cruz went up. So did Cruz. They both went up to fight him.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And Cruz only had 2 weeks, 3 weeks to train for the fight. So it was just
a replacement.
Yeah.
What was it?
It was a replacement, she said.
Right.
Yeah, but he still had 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Right. He didn't worry about replacement.
Right.
And he did pretty well in the fight.
Right. Right. So I think he's speaking towards the fact that Tank has always Tank has a history of asking fighters to move up in weight to come fight him, or move weights around to fight those great fights. So, you know what I'm saying, just passing the blessing down to the next person. It's not foreign for Tank Davis to move around that way, or ask people to move around that way. So it's not, just the emphasis on the picking on or asking
But that's part of the A-side privilege, right? If that's what Ray was asking, is that
Well,
not part of
100% that's the A-side privilege, right? But
But
that's what it's about, right?
It's
It's
like, it doesn't give you a good legacy.
Right.
Right. Go ahead. Say it again, Echo.
It doesn't give you a good legacy. It doesn't make your legacy any better by fight. It's like somebody going up 2 weights and the guy loses. Look at Lomachenko when he fought Rigondeaux. That didn't do Lomachenko any favors, really, for his legacy.
Right. It just you start to build a reputation of fighting crippled fighters. Like you're taking away fighters' ability to fight properly, and it's kind of like the king did to the gladiators back in the day, right? Like the prince might want to fight one of the gladiators, so he'd have one of the gladiators in the back like stabbed in the stomach or cut in the leg or something, so he can make the fight, and it would look like the king was destroying these gladiators, but it wasn't really destroying the gladiators. He was hurting them before they even jumped in the ring with him. It just took away from the value of the fight.
Right.
But to be honest, all fighters don't go in the ring 100%. Very rarely they go in the ring 100%.
Right.
Anyway,
so on top of crippling them purposefully, right? Then they might as well, to compound their situation, actually come in with injuries that they earned themselves through weight cutting and training to get ready for the fight. Exactly.
You get injured more sometimes in the training than you do in the fights, because a lot of you're hitting the bag hundreds of times every minute, whatever. Then you spar in. When you fight, usually it's 12 rounds, 10 rounds, 8 rounds, whatever. And you probably throw 300 punches. But you could throw probably 10,000 punches getting ready for a fight.
Right.
And that's why I understood why Shakur was saying about overtraining and he hurt his shoulder in his hand. It possibly could have happened.
Right.
100%.
Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
No, I was going to say that Shakur, I think if he fights at his best, I don't think we've seen the best of him yet.
Right.
I think we should ignore the last fight. And he did beat Del Santos really easily, I thought. He beat him throwing no punches, and the other guy still couldn't hit him.
Right.
Usually when you beat somebody that's a defensive fighter, at least they're throwing punches. I mean, it reminds me of like when Willie Pep won the fight, won one round without throwing a punch. And that's how good he is with his defense. He's a very good defensive fighter. And his distance management is very good.
Correct. And what I was
hold on 1 second. Let me bring in another. Okay, be good. And you know who I'm talking about. I'm about to bring you on. Be good. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it respectful. But we're going to bring the boy. I didn't see you in the backstage. Rollo Green in the building. Rollo, be good. Rollo, be good. Do your thing, but be good. Let's not get crazy up here.
Let me finish up real quick. So,
okay.
With the Shakur situation, what I had noticed was it wasn't so much of him not being able to go down to make that weight. Raul, turn your phone down. We hear you in the background. It's like reverb.
Right. I just had to mute you. Turn the phone down.
So what happened was he knew it was a bag there. Bob and him had a negotiation to get that bag. And I honestly think that Shakur seen what Devin was going to make and was like, I'm not fighting you for 25% when that's a bag. I want more. I don't blame Shakur for that. But
I don't blame him either.
Yeah. But I also got to understand that, you know what I mean? When this guy's, you got one guy taking all the risk, he's going to ask for more. And I think deservingly he deserved more. So, I mean, that was a tough situation. I really don't want to get into that. But that was just touching base on what you have said about the Shakur fight, him making weight. It was a big bag. We knew it would have been a big bag. But he should have took the fight. But he didn't want to kill himself. He moved to 140, made it easier. Let's see his journey there. I really don't care. Like, again, I don't really care for the tank fight so much.
Right. I want to bring in Rollo. If you're ready, you can unmute yourself, or if you need a little bit more time, I can give you a little more time, but give Rollo an opportunity to tap in. Shout out to Rollo Green as well, man. He's also somebody who brings up here and drops a lot of boxing knowledge, man. Really appreciate you showing up today.
I'm ready. I'm always nice and respectful to those that's nice and respectful to me, guys. But if you punch me, don't say nothing when I shoot you.
Please do not punch on Rollo. I do not. Please do not punch on Rollo.
You can't call me an idiot and then get mad when I call you a coon. It don't work like that. That's not how life works. But anyway,
Okay.
how's it okay for Tank to pull up Hector from 130 and nobody says nothing? It's cool. It's fine. But if Devin tried to pull up the guy he been trying to chase for 5 years, then he's a bully. He's picking on. See, you could pull out little keywords like picking on to see who's fanboy and who's not. You see what I'm saying? Well, explain to me how's that okay that you think it was okay for him to pull up Hector Garcia to 135, who's never fought there before.
Right, Big Dre.
But it's not okay for Tank to pull up, for Devin to pull up Tank, who won a belt. Y'all say he's a 3-division champion, but when Devin want to fight him at 140, he's too. Make that make sense to me.
He's not 3-division champion, a proper champion. Forget about that.
I don't consider the A belt being, but everybody else do. So they call him a 3-division champion. So we can't pick and choose.
Well, let me answer your question real quick. Right. I was wondering why is he pulling him up to fight him anyway. I'm not saying that was okay, but when you were in a position at the division with him to make the fight, and you didn't necessarily ever put yourself in a position to fight him while you were there, and then you move up. To me, that's the difference.
But he has put himself in the position. Like, where you been at for the last? See,
at what point was Devin in a position to fight?
I'm ready to explain it to you, baby. So it seems like most of you Tank fans just like jumped on the bandwagon a year ago and don't know about 2019 when they both entered into the division and won belts. Devin forcing Loma to give him the real belt and Tank taking the WBA belt. Seems like most of y'all don't know that Bill and Devin was trying to go to the WBA once they got them belts to force Tank into that mandatory. And what did Tank's team say? We ain't forcing us. We'll drop the belt. When I went on the Raz podcast and talked to them fellas, their excuse was, which I understand, why would we let them force a mandatory and then give us 25% or 30% when we the A side? Well, that makes perfect sense. But y'all act like y'all don't know that though, right? Y'all don't know that they was trying to force Tank into that fight.
Because again, that goes to the standard and the expectation that Tank is holding himself to as a fighter. He's not worried about the belt. He's trying to get his money.
In what sport do we not get to hold people accountable of being the champion? So what do we hold them to say they're the best? You could just say you're the best because you make more money.
It depends on what you see as the best. It's all about perspective. See, boxing is subjective.
It's not.
It's all about what.
No, it's not. The championships determine who's the best. Like any sport. Well, the championship says who's the best.
All right.
So if you got one guy,
so then obviously Tank's not trying to be the best then.
No.
Well, that's a whole. I actually want to tap into that, but I want Ray. I want to give Ray a chance to kind of put some input in there. But I do have some input on that topic. I think this is a very this topic. I have input on it. Believe it or not, as far as how we figuring out who's the best and what drives fighters to fight and respecting fighters what drive them.
I got something last too.
Hold on. All right, so to settle this, honestly, like I think I stated this earlier, you have the popularity, which is the people's champ, and then you have the person that went out there and had the hardware. That makes for a great fight. We all know that. Because people want to see who's really the best when it comes to that. Now, if it's all about the money, then it's about the money. Rolly's the best. No, I don't know about that.
Hold on a second. Rollo, I muted you because you got like a sound coming out in the back. I don't know. Just kind of let you know. It's probably because your phone is so loud it's picking up your phone. But I'm just gonna mute you until or if you want to mute yourself and just unmute yourself when you want to speak.
Okay, I get it.
I think the thing is you gotta close the YouTube app out once you click on the StreamYard, John, because it brings up the open.
On the phone, it don't. Unless he's on the computer, the phone you don't hear.
Right, he's probably on his phone, and it's just the phone is so loud it's like hearing itself.
Yeah, but yeah, to that point, like believe it or not, Toussaint had a great point, and Rollo has a great point. But look, this is why the champions must meet. This is exactly what we're talking about. Popularity versus, you know what I mean, gold. Like, is this guy? I'll call it the Ric Flair moment. Everybody remember Ric Flair? I'm pretty sure we do. So Ric Flair was a guy that everybody hated. He was the heel. He was always the champion, but they always tried to get somebody to come out there. Who was the popular guy that ever come up? It was Lex Luthor. We had Sting, and Sting became that guy to lead the NWA to the WCW, whatever the case may be, for Ric Flair. He beat Ric Flair, but it was always a heel turn on every single point. So I don't mean to keep going on wrestling, but I'm just saying that's a way of looking at things. So yes, I get what you're saying. We need to understand that there is a double meaning for championships. The people have a popularity contest, and they like Tank. They like what they see with Tank. They like the action. They like the steamrolling. They like the boxing IQ. They like the way he sets people up. They just like what he brings. Then you have people that like Devin. Devin went out there. He defied all odds. He was told he'll never be a champion. Devin went and collected 4 belts. Devin held on and defended the belt 3 times or twice. So, and then went up to 140 and got another belt in his first fight against a really valid opponent, which people don't believe so, but they were talking different before that fight happened. So at the end of the day, we have to understand we have 2 great opponents that we want to see clash. If they don't clash, they don't clash. But that's what the whole thing is about at the end of the day. What both of you guys are saying is accurate.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna, after I'm done, I'm gonna let Echo kick in because he sounded like he wanted to put some input in there. But I just wanted to.
That was me.
Echo
freaking I can't remember which one, but both of you guys wanted whoever's going to be. But I think the topic of traditional, and this is, I plan on doing a video on this as far as traditional boxing and casual fan boxing, right? Casual fan boxing is just giving the fans what they want to see, right? Which is the casual fans what they want to see, which is knockouts, mismatch fights, just see one big guy beat up a really little guy, or to see one knockout artist, or A-list fighter knock out a C-list, D-list fighter. They have no issues with that as long as the entertainment is going on in the ring. They'll tap in, and they have no issues with that. The traditional boxing fan acknowledges the structure of boxing, acknowledges the value of rankings, and acknowledges the value of belts and championships, and how important it is for the best to fight the best, literally, through the ranking system and what's provided, to not cherry pick or find fights that are stylistically favorable to you to make you look maybe better than you are, or just highlight your best attributes and doesn't highlight potential weaknesses that you have. And for us as traditional boxing fans, we want to see how you adjust in those situations. Well, you don't get to see adjustments, and you don't get to see the sweet science of boxing when both guys who are in the ring don't hold legitimate threats to each other. You know what I'm saying? So when you said 2 cents that, Gervonta Tank Davis may not be looking to be great, or may not be looking for legacy, or may not be looking for these things, I have to agree with you on that. I think it's pretty evident by the way he's been moving with his career that he doesn't value these things, right? But it still doesn't change the fact that it still doesn't change the fact that there is a structure to boxing. And this is what the big complaint is, right? I understand that people would like us to respect his wishes and let him be what he wants to be, and stop holding him to these standards of boxing that we've been holding boxers to for years, decades. You know what I'm saying? At this point, you know what I'm saying? But it's a little difficult, you know what I'm saying, for traditional boxing fans to at the same time let him do that and acknowledge him as a great fighter, right? We can't do both. So it's like, if he doesn't want to be acknowledged as a great fighter, then we will stop speaking of him in that sense, and we'll treat him like a Jake Paul or a KSI or Ryan Garcia. He'll be a YouTube social media star. We'll acknowledge who he is, but he can't expect us to give him accolades of great fighters and not hold him to the standard of what great fighters do.
It's a disrespect to boxing.
Yes, I think traditional boxing fans would unanimously agree on that topic. I think casual fans are more so like willing to allow him to do what he wants to do, and as long as he's entertaining them in that moment, they'll defend him to the core. I say take the good with the bad. I'm very willing to allow Tank Davis to be who he is, to not be great, to not be legacy driven, to not be pound for pound, to not be those things. And as long as we're not pushing that narrative, as long as boxing fans are not pushing the narrative that he's a great boxer in that sense, then we'll stop pushing on him to be that way. And we'll look right past him and acknowledge the fact that the Devin Haney's of the world, the Shakur Stevensons of the world, the Jerron Boots Ennis's of the world, the Terrence Crawfords of the world, the Errol Spencers of the world are great fighters. They're pound for pound fighters. They check the boxes. They understand the value of the boxes being checked. We will acknowledge them for that, and we will look past the Gervonta Tank Davis's fans and the Gervonta Tank Davis accolades. And I would hope that the fans understand that and respect Gervonta Tank Davis's wish to not be a great fighter and not give him accolades of being a great fighter at the same time.
That's kind of weird to say he's not trying to be a great fighter, though.
I know, but I'm just saying it's one or the other. I'm saying
man,
you can't have both.
That's laughable, man. Are y'all serious, man? I'm in the boxing gym, man. I got promoters already. My son is about to be 13. I just got off the phone I didn't get off the phone, but my coach called Sam Watson right there in my face to let me know that it's real. It's real, man. My son is a special talent. Y'all know who Sam Watson is, right? So you don't talk to Al, you talk to Sam. And I just was on FaceTime, not me, my coach standing right next, while he talked to Sam that picked up for him on the second ring. This not being great, what are y'all talking about? Are we really talking about a boxer not trying to be the champion, but he's the face of boxing? You know how silly that sounds, man? You know how disrespectful that is to the tradition of boxing, man?
Yeah, look,
hold on. Let me say this, y'all. Hold on. I think it's this belts don't matter thing. You know, belts are very important to boxing to me. You know, belts along with the ranking system that provides the structure. You know, you have the ranking system where people are fighting to try to move up in rank to get a shot at the title. You know, and you know, if everybody's going for the titles, then everybody's going to meet at the top, and we're going to have all of the best fighters who can make it up the ranking system to fight each other. You know, and then once you get the belts, since we got multiple belts now, then the fighters with the belts are, you know, they're expected to try to fight each other, you know, to unify and, you know, become, eventually you're going to have one undisputed champion, you know. And so when people say that, belts don't matter and stuff, you're just talking about, you already know that you're just talking about that one division or around 135 or 140, because the belts matter everywhere else. You know, everybody else is going for undisputed, trying to unify stuff. Wait. And if you're trying to say, if you don't, let me finish. Oh, okay.
Let me acknowledge. Hold on. Yo, shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV to showing up to the channel, showing me some love. I appreciate the support, family. I know you got your own thing that you about to kick off in a second. So I know it took, you know, you taking some time out of your time right now to show some love. And I really appreciate you in the building. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Frequent, I'm gonna let you get back at it. I apologize, brother. Go ahead and finish your thought.
Yeah, okay. Can I ask you a question? Salute to Blue Blood. Hold up. Just let me finish this one part though, because I'm responding to something that you said. Even if you're not saying that just the belts don't matter, just them, you're just saying that the belts don't matter to Tank, then why is Tank holding on to a belt and fighting mandatories? He's holding on to one of them. Last I checked, he has one of the belts and he's fighting mandatories. If you truly don't care about the belts, then why would you be holding one and fighting mandatories?
I'm not saying that he truly don't care about the belt at all. I was just kind of trying to make a point that obviously his number one priority is not that. But to rebuttal to what you were saying, if the belts was so important and everybody want to see the best fight in the bed and this and that, why is Canelo getting away with the opponents as he's fighting at 168? There are other people in the 168 division, like Benavidez, who's fought 3 eliminators that deserve the shot at the belt. Why is he not?
You asking me that question?
I don't think you'll find any traditional boxing fan who's not holding Canelo Alvarez super accountable for the way he's been carrying himself in the 168 division. I'm sorry, freaking go ahead.
Person.
Oh, yeah, that's a simple, straightforward question. WBC is not.
Yeah, freaking go ahead.
Oh, that's a simple question to be answered. It's the WBC. The problem is with them because the WBC tend to have favorites. You know, they tend to treat certain fighters a different way because you have we ain't even going we gonna stick with the Canelo thing. You know, Canelo had this mandatory for a while, but they instead of if it was somebody else, they would have been ordered the mandatory, the fight, mandated the fight between the mandatory challenger and him, Benavidez and him. But because it's Canelo, they don't. I don't think they ever gonna do it.
So
It's the sanctioning body.
Hold on. If the sanctioning bodies aren't even
Facts.
taking the belt seriously,
No, that's not what it is. That's not what it is, Queen. It's not the sanctioning bodies not taking the belts serious. It's just that they're catering to that specific fighter. Any other fighter, they have belts, they get stripped and all of that stuff because they don't fight their mandatories. Look what happened to Terrence Crawford. In his fight, he had just fought Earl and still locked into a contract for a rematch clause. And they still took the belt from him.
So frequent, really to touch base on it, believe it or not, the franchise belt was actually invented for Canelo, so he doesn't have to fight mandatories.
Absolutely.
To hold on to these belts because forget about Lomachenko. I'm talking about Canelo. He wanted those. They gave him that belt so he can move up and down divisions, fight different people, don't lose his titles. And the reason why I say that it was made for him because he was the first guy offered with it. He was the first guy to utilize it the way it's supposed to be used. And even though they took the W, yes, they did. At 160, even though it was supposed to be used in the way that in the format that it was, because he didn't want to fight Charlo, and with the IBF, which they stripped him for, and they gave it to Andre, they actually stripped him of the IBF, so he didn't get stripped no more. That's why he moved up and he took the franchise belt. Then and if you notice, he was the only guy to actually successfully go up and down in weight using it without losing his titles to this day. That's why I said the franchise belt was made for what it was made for. Doesn't matter what people say the franchise belt was with Loma. It's a fact that belt was made for that reason, so he doesn't get stripped. So
he can move up and down and weight, right?
Right. So he can get big money fights. And also just to add to that, not to cut you off, Ray, but I also want to get to Echo. I definitely want to bring in Big Dre as well. I don't want those guys sitting in the shadows too long. Absolutely. I just want to say, as far as 2 cents, as far as why these belts get moved, get to stay with certain people for a long time, and with other people they get stripped off. It's a money thing. We have to remember that the sanctioning bodies are into the business of making money, and who doesn't want to be in the business of Canelo Alvarez, who may be the highest earning fighter in the game? You have to understand, every time he fights, they earn percentages off those purses because he has those belts. So I think it's no coincidence that they're letting things slide and making arrangements and things for Canelo Alvarez to be able to hold those belts so that they continue taking their percentage of the money, as well as, keeping Canelo as a super valuable, super decorated face of boxing character in boxing. But like I said earlier, as far as traditional boxing fans are concerned, we're very aware of the travesty that's happening at 168 pounds with Canelo Alvarez and the complete disregard for the structure of boxing, or allowing a David Benavidez to get an opportunity. We're very aware of it, and we hold him even more accountable than you might want to believe we hold him accountable. I want to bring in
go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Echo, if you don't mind, I know you've been on hold for a minute. Do you mind if I want to bring Big Dre and give him an opportunity to tap in? Definitely.
Yeah, let Echo cook, man. If Echo want to cook, let him cook.
I'm gonna let him jump on. So let me.
All right, go ahead, Ray.
In most recent times, we just had this happen with Earl Spence. Regardless of him getting stripped of the IBF, he's a big money guy. All the money he generated for these belts with the 3%, they didn't strip him. As soon as Bud got the belts, guess what? Bud is not that money guy. They took the IBF from him.
Well, from my understanding, he didn't get stripped because unification trumped mandatory. So he was unifying the division.
Well, if that was
legitimately by the
rules,
they were right.
Who wasn't?
I don't think it's a matter of the belt, quote unquote, not mattering. I think it's a matter of there's no strict rules. We can take this and manipulate it, and you're making a lot of money, you can keep it, and you can do this and you can do that. And to be honest, it's very confusing. And let's be honest, boxing is not.
Let me finish what I was saying real quick, and I appreciate what you're saying because you're right. But with Earl, I'm an Earl fan. I'm the Earl fan. Trust me. So when I tell you that it happened, is because remember that fight was not signed yet. They didn't release that fight until the deadline of the IBF, saying that they were going to take the belts from Earl. Earl had to make a move. He submitted and gave Terrence that payday to make that fight because they were going to strip him. They already said they were going to strip him in May. That fight came out in June that it was going to happen. They fought in July. So we know that works. So we know how the system works. But I understand. But go ahead. And then
You talking about the WBC though, y'all?
Right. Every sanctioning body has their rules. And I think
Everyone's
also what's important to understand is, although they make rules, one thing that's in fine print in most of these sanctioning bodies laws is that they can do what they want to do. They usually make it pretty clear that they can do what they want to do.
We're talking about everything.
Right. So let's bring in Big Dre to go ahead and put his input on the topic for sure.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to hats off to my lady 2 Cents. You cooked earlier. You made some really good points. And even though you're not a boxing historian, you do know what you're talking about. And Rollo, leave the young lady alone. You know, she in here, she doing her thing, and
Big Dre,
she's
I'm
making
talking
good
boxing,
points.
Big Dre. I ain't doing feelings.
Yeah,
I'm talking
he doing all right. He doing all right, Big Dre.
But Rollo, let him cook. Let him cook. Respond.
Go ahead. Let him go. Let him go.
Rollo, let him cook. And then just write it down and respond to him.
All right.
No, you are for sure.
Go ahead, Big Dre.
Don't forget that thought, so you can say something when it's your turn. We want to hear it. Trust me. Go ahead.
Okay. So my next point was, Devin and his dad seem to want the fight so bad. They want this fight to the utmost. They are trying to do everything that they can to get the fight under their terms. So in order to get the fight under their terms, they're trying to do the round robin. They're going everywhere but straight down the pipe. I think if they really want to fight, they should do exactly what Ryan did. Ryan said he wanted to fight. He didn't care what it took to make the fight. He said he wanted to fight. They gave him a long list of concessions. Ryan said, okay, I'll do all of the concessions. I will sign at the bottom line. So if Devin wants a Ryan contract, he need to do what Ryan did. He need to make the Ryan concessions. The concessions were there to say, if you really want it, come get it. Ryan said he really wanted it, so he came and got it. It's simple. It's really simple.
It's not, though. It's not.
It is really simple, man.
They're not even
really
talking
simple
to them, though. How? It takes two to tangle. Like Claymore was saying earlier. How, when they won't even consider they won't even come to the negotiation. You saying that they gotta concede to all of these things, but you ain't nobody from Tank side said, oh, well, you gotta do this. Send something, say something, and they'll do it. How they gonna do something that they don't know? It don't make sense what you're saying.
But Devin came out immediately and said what he's not going to do. So if you're not going to do it, why do I need to consider it? I don't need to make any. I don't have to give you any consideration. You left the weight class. You left the network. You left me. I ain't been nowhere. I'm still right here. I'm doing what I do. You want to fight me? Come to me. I said what I wanted. Said, sure, I'll fight you if you come to 135. If we do a catch weight, I want a rehydration clause. You said you don't want to come to 135. You don't want a rehydration clause. You don't want to fight.
So y'all want Dranos. We understand.
Right.
I don't care about Dranos or Thanos or Hanos or whatever you want to call them.
Listen, Big Dre, you don't find it funny that they've been in.
Wait, hold on, wait. I don't want everybody talking over each other. Bear with me 1 second. I actually want to give everybody their opportunity, and I want us to all hear it. So what I want to say is,
I wanted to make a point about the belts real quick.
Okay, let me just say something to Big Dre, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say something. I'm literally going to circumvent and go to Echo because I've held him off for a while. I really want him to put his input in here, and then we'll go to 2 Cents. and then we'll go to Rollo, because I know Rollo is burning inside to respond to Big Dre, and I'm going to be present for that. So we're going to give an opportunity. I'm going to save the best for last. Dre, Big Dre, just put my input real quick in there just to say that I agree with you. I think that is a way for the fight to happen. But I think that Devin Haney and his father with the Saudi Arabians may have found a way to circumvent that and still get Tank monetarily what he wants, right? And I think from my perspective as a boxing fan, and I know you're definitely a boxing fan, I'm very interested in the fact of one thing. If they are going to fight, and I say if because I am comfortable with them not fighting, right? But if they are going, if they are going to fight, I do want them to both be at their best abilities. I would not like to think that Devin Haney was dehydrated or had issues making the weight or keeping the weight and came in the ring in any kind of depleted form. I'd want that fight to happen with a healthy Devin Haney and a healthy Gervonta Tank Davis. So for me as a fan, I want to see them in the ring in their best forms. If they can't be, I have no problem with understanding that they have to go their separate ways. Devin go and pursue legacy fights and do great things in his future with 140 and go to 147 eventually. And Tank Davis also having opportunities to have legacy fights in his 135 weight class division and also pursue legacy and get greatness. I'm going to go ahead and take it up to Echo. Go. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait a second, Ray. I won't forget you. I promise you. But I can't leave him no more. He's been there for a real long. I can't do it no more.
All right,
Echo,
got breaking news.
Okay, Echo, go ahead. Oh,
you're
good.
I
don't hear
you. You're up.
I thought he was going to say something.
No.
I do got breaking news, but go ahead.
Yeah, about what the gentleman just said before about negotiating and coming to the table and sitting down. That's a good idea, of course. Because at the end of the day, you either have a deal or you have... Sometimes the best thing is no deal because it doesn't suit both parties. But you have to have some kind of synergy that it benefits both. It's got to be a win-win for everybody. And somebody's idea of a win is not the same as another person's.
Sure,
you know?
Sure.
And through the history of boxing, it's been like that forever. You know, that's why they have big rings. I mean, look at Mayweather when he wanted a fight with De La Hoya. De La Hoya was the one that had all the concessions, but Mayweather knew that De La Hoya was the A side. I even said himself, he was willing to give away certain things just to get that fight. But he knew that would, in the long run, that would be the best thing to do for his career and for his legacy, because he knew that he would beat him.
Right.
You know, but it all depends on who believes in. See, the thing is, we can believe somebody can win, but we don't really know. Belief and knowing are two different things.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I can believe that Tank would beat Shakur, but I don't really know. And the only way you're going to know if these guys test themselves and really test, really go the extra mile, because that's how great fighters become great fighters, fighting each other.
Right, the best fights the best.
Just like the four kings, Leonard, Duran, Hagler, Hearns.
Salute to that.
And also, the best fighters don't always win because they've got the most power or the speed. I can name so many fights that have been won and lost, not because of those attributes or even skill. It's been the wisdom of the fighter and the wisdom of the trainer to see the openings that the other guy left. Sometimes the most important thing, is knowledge is okay, and you might have the knowledge, but you've got to have the wisdom to use that knowledge wisely. And a great trainer will do that. And a great trainer will win a fight for a person, regardless of how much skill and power the other person's got. There's many boxers in the history of boxing, from Ernie Shavers. One of the most powerful punchers, wasn't a world champion. Why? You tell me. Howard Davis Jr., another one of the fastest fighters, he wasn't a world champion. Why? There's there's lots of nuances to boxing. It's not just because Tank is knocking out Leo Santa Cruz doesn't mean he's going to knock out everybody else.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate.
Shakur's got a lot of skill.
Sure.
That's
why, by the way, that's why I like having I really appreciate Echo coming around, and it seems like Big Dre's also got a wealth of knowledge. Rollo Green 100% has a wealth of knowledge. My co-host Ray Davis is also, a sleeper, a wealth of knowledge. I also want this platform to be something that can potentially educate new fans are coming in and casual fans to get like a deeper understanding and perspective, kind of bring that older generation with the newer generation to kind of bring us together. I want to go ahead. Thank you, Echo. I'm going to bring it up to Ray Davis to go ahead and drop the breaking news. And then I want to go to 2 Cents because I know she had something she wanted to say. And then we'll come back around to Rollo and let Rollo do his thing.
So
go ahead, Ray.
We can definitely build on this right after we're done with this round robin. But Edwin De Los Santos, the second 135 guy, just called out Ryan Garcia. He's moving up. Looks like he wants that fight. We'll see if it happens because it's a PBC fight. But we are getting smoked, and 140 is getting hot. I'm telling you, I've been saying it. It's the new money division. These guys are all draining into this division to get some to bring some rec. And if we keep getting this. All these guys from 135 and the guys that's already there at 140, we're gonna have some fireworks because it was literally dead like a year ago. I mean, you had a few fighters there, and now if all this energy keep coming up,
it's definitely the glamour division right now. It's the glamour division.
It's moving for real. All right.
So let me bring it over to 2 Cents. 2 Cents. I don't know. I hope you didn't forget what you had to say. I'm going to put it on you. I know I had you in the dark for a minute, but it's definitely on you if you want to go ahead and share whatever you were thinking about sharing before.
I wanted to say something as far as the belt, and I wanted to make this point too. You got to understand that boxing is not necessarily catering to the quote unquote traditional fan or the hardcore fan. Their thing is casual. The more people we can bring in, because hardcore fan, you're going to watch it. You're going to complain, but you're going to watch it because you're a hardcore fan. Right. So their main market is a casual fan. And as far as my opinion goes, and if you think about the belt, it literally takes a conscious effort to learn and understand what these belts do, how they move, and what they mean. Yes, the fighters need them for leverage, so they can negotiate and get more money and have the accolades and for quote unquote legacy. But at the end of the day, just like you were saying about the 168, they letting Canelo keep the belts because he makes a lot of money. So if you already able to accomplish making a lot of money and you don't quote unquote necessarily need all the belts and the quote unquote legacy, it's not going to be a top priority for you. So I wasn't saying that Tank don't want to be a champion or nothing like that. I was just kind of exaggerating the point that he's already there as far as the money goes. So belts and undisputed and all that is not a top priority for him.
Right. I agree with you, 2 Cents. I also said there's 3 levels, there's 3 stages in a boxer's career. I say there's the beginning of his career where he's a prospect and he's fighting everybody, right? He's looking to make a name for himself. Then there's a second stage in his career to where he's trying to get the belt and he's trying to become a champion and he's conceding and he's fighting strategically. He's not fighting everybody because he wants to get to these belts. And then there's a third stage to where they're trying to make money, like where Terrence Crawford is at. They're on their way out the game, and now they're looking for the biggest fights. They're looking to make the biggest money. I think with Tank Davis and with the management and the cosigns he had with Floyd Mayweather and Al Heyman and the way they moved his career, he actually did the last stage first. You know what I'm saying? So now that he's in the potential last, it's like right now he doesn't have to go for the belts like he would have been hungry in the middle, and now he gets to kind of go off into the sunset if he wants to, and never does do legacy fights and still be well off and accomplish all his generational wealth goals that he had. But once again, just to kind of go back, we'll have no problem with him being that person right now, and I empathize with his present situation. But in order for him, in my opinion, to earn the accolades of great fighters and like great fighters did before him, we're definitely as traditional fans going to hold him to great fighter standards. I'm going to bring it full circle back to Rollo Green, and I'm going to let Rollo, I hope you once again didn't forget what you had to say. I apologize. I'm new to this moderating thing, so I hope you didn't forget what you had to say, but it's definitely on you, and you have an opportunity to get it off your chest, Rollo.
All right. So when it comes to Canelo, I mean, he was the cash cow. So, they're going to allow him to do things that they're not going to allow other people. But at the same time, the difference is Canelo was fighting champions. He went up to 75 and fought 2 champions, right? And he became undisputed fighting plenty. So in his last 5 fights, he got like 3 champions he done fought. And that's how so when you're dealing with traditional, that's how boxing go. Ali and Tyson, they didn't fight champion after champion after champion. Sugar Ray, they didn't fight champion after champion. That's not how it go. They ain't gonna get no money like that. You're gonna get beat. These dudes are scared to get beat. So you fight the champion like Canelo do, then you go and fight you a rattle. Then you pull your old guy up like Triple G. You get you 2 money fights, and then you go fight you another champion. Like, because eventually you getting forced in the hole. But Tank, he ain't doing none of that. He ain't fighting no champion, right? He got the fame first. And now, Mayweather said, if you want 20 belts and $10 million or 2 belts and $100 million. And Tank's his guinea pig.
So are you saying Tank ain't fought no champion?
No, get into sense.
Not to be 30 years old. I'm just asking. Right, when you're dealing with respective weight class, so I don't count you fighting at 140, then going down to 130, beating the champion. I don't count that. I don't count you bringing up the champion from 130 to 140.
Hold on, let's be clear. You mean current champions, right?
Current champions.
Hold on. So just to put this out there as a because we're not going to talk about champions, I'm going to say titleists. Tank actually has the most fights against the titleists, I think, in modern day boxing. Just to throw that out there.
Against what do you mean titleists?
Titleists. That means if they held a belt, he fought them and he beat them.
No, he talking current champions.
If you're talking straight championships, that'd be Canelo.
So the only standing champion Tank fought was who? Pedraza, and then he went down to fight Santa Cruz.
Right.
I think he got a vacant belt at 130. Then he went down to fight Santa Cruz. But he only fought 2 standing champions? He's 30 years old. So no, he's not fighting champions. Hell no, he's not fighting. He's way behind when you're looking at how a boxer's career is moved. Look at Shakur. Unified already at 130 with a belt at 135. He's only 26 years old. Look at Devin. Look at T.O. 2-time lineal champion in 2 weight divisions. He's only 26 years old. He's been fighting nothing but champions. This guy was somehow, and I like Tank. I understand it's not Tank. I understand it's Mayweather knowing I've been there, done that. Boy, if I can get anywhere remotely close to me, watch what I do with him. And they moving him perfect. Him and Al is moving him perfect.
Wasn't a standing champion, Richard Paris.
Everybody's saying that Al is so smart, but y'all don't think he got that figured out already? Y'all don't think that he would have been when he got that bag and got them belts at 135, but Devin was in his way? First, Loma was in his way. They ducked Loma first, right? Freaking Fire posted the YouTube script of when they asked him. When they asked me, well, what about Loma? Oh, question time's over. Question time's over. You sat up here and talked about your Ferraris and jets and everything. They asked you about the fight. The man said, question time is over. They not.
Oh, wait a minute now. See that now? That was back in 2019.
Dre, hold on, Rollo. Wait, Dre, just hold on. So, Rollo, are you about done? You wrapping it up? Or?
Yeah, I just wanted to address that Canelo thing. You know
okay,
what I mean?
I appreciate you, man.
So
I'm gonna pass it over to Big Dre.
What Big Dre said, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass it over to Big Dre and let him get the floor so he can get it off his chest. Go ahead, Big Dre. It's on you, brother. Appreciate your patience.
Okay, they asked about Loma right after the Pedraza fight. That was in 2019. Loma had a fight coming up, so he wasn't actually available. And no, Tank wasn't ready to go after another title just yet. And I don't blame him. He had, 24 fights under his belt. Loma's a pretty slick fighter, great boxer. They didn't think Tank was ready at that time. I give him a pass on that one. So he fought champion Pedraza, belt holder. He fought Gamboa, former belt holder. He fought Santa Cruz, belt holder. He fought Barrios, belt holder. Okay. He fought Rowley, who went up to 140 and got a belt. I mean, he not fighting bums. They say, yeah, he want to fight that he only fights slow-footed or flat-footed Mexicans, or excuse me, Latinos. But you know, if you look at the lightweight division, at least 85%, maybe more, are Latino fighters. Everything under 147 is full of Latino fighters and Asian fighters. There's not a whole lot of slick black fighters, as people want to call them, in those lower weight classes. Now, I might be wrong, but when you look at the numbers, there are a whole lot of fighters out there. I mean, and there's not a lot of fighters out there who are in Tank's class of fight anyway. And back to the, I wanted to touch on something that 2 Cents said earlier about the broadcast rights. They can broadcast that fight on Amazon, even though it's coming from, you know, even though it's being held in Saudi Arabia. So Amazon can get that bag and make their money because it's being broadcast on Prime, and Prime is worldwide. You know, so there's no reason for it not to make money.
Real quick, Big Dre.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't I saying that yesterday, and you told me I was right afterward? Or was
yes, sir. We talked about that yesterday.
Right, because I said that Amazon. I said I was talking about the budget, right?
Yeah, like we don't know what the budget is for Amazon, right. No, how they got
the budget. We don't know the budget, but we know there's a budget, and I was saying that, and I'm glad you just touched base on it because I was just making sure that I was on my points with that. But no, I appreciate it. I don't want to deter you from your conversation. I just needed some,
some clarification.
Yeah. You know, because we don't rock together all the time. You be getting mad at me for beating up your boy, bro. I'm just messing with you.
Listen, we don't agree on everything, and none of us do. But like I was watching Mayweather. It's either Mayweather Canelo or Mayweather De La Hoya fight, which was co-promoted HBO and Showtime. And I didn't think about it until I was watching the fight on, I think it was on YouTube. I was just scrolling through and it came through my feed, and I clicked on it, watched the whole fight. They had both Jimmy Lennon Jr. announcing and Michael Buffer announcing. I mean, that was just totally blew my mind because I know I watched that fight live and don't remember that, but that was definitely a co-promoted fight. It was definitely shown on both networks. Everybody got their little piece of the money. It was it's out there and it can be had. So if the Saudis want to pay for it, they want to finance it or bankroll it or be the budget for the fight, I'm all for seeing it. But if it don't happen, ain't no skin off my nose because I don't make any money off of it.
Talk about it. Yeah.
So I concede the floor and I'm gonna stay here because somebody gonna say something I need to speak on.
No doubt. I appreciate you, Big Dre. The input is valuable. I appreciate your contribution. I'm going to bring into the most quiet dude in the room who's always getting older. I'm taking advantage of his age. And, he just gets older and older on this platform for some reason. And I apologize in advance for doing that to him. I'm going to let Freaking Flyer go ahead and get an opportunity to put his input in as well, if he wants to.
Frequent.
Yeah. I don't really got much to say, but it just seemed like, when we're talking about the Tank fans, man, they just start talking about A-sides and money and who dictating terms and all of that stuff, man. But I think the most important thing is to us, we get the fight and everything. Not to say that I think that Tank shouldn't be A-side, because he did earn that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about, even though I know that the Saudi fight is not going to happen, if you were talking about something like that, that stuff is, why are you still talking that if they're fighting in Saudi Arabia outside of the U.S. and somebody else is just trying to put the money up, saying, oh, this the issue right here, throw the money up. And as far as, I just wanted to say, as far as with Bill Haney, when he was dictating what he was not going to accept in the Tank fight, after the Regis fight and everything, I think they were just saying that they were only willing to concede to the money part of it. Tank, flexing his A-side muscles on the financial side, as far as the purse. But they weren't willing to let Devin hurt himself by moving down to 135 or fighting at a catch weight or something like that with a rehydration clause or whatever. I just think that they were just putting that out there, that they wasn't going for none of that nonsense, But as far as, taking away the A side, Tank is going to have an A side as far as the purse all day, with any of those guys down there.
Sure.
But that's all, though.
Interesting.
All right. So, guys, listen, it was great. It's a great show. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the room, let everybody get like their closing thoughts on whatever we're doing. We've been on for about 2 hours. I'm trying not to make these things drag out into like 5-hour marathons unless they need to, trying to get a little control and structure. I appreciate everybody for coming out there. I think today was our biggest viewership on one of our lives, and we're just growing. We're doing better and better every time we come out. This is a free space. I love to build with people who love boxing, and we're like Big Dre said earlier, we're not going to agree probably most of the damn time. Very rarely do I think we'll ever have a full panel that's just on the same page saying the same thing, which is what makes this exciting and interesting. Here, respect is the foundation. Respect is established, and because of that, everybody can get off what they want on their chest, and we're not knocking people. We're not throwing shots. We throw some friendly shots. You know what I mean? It's good to have friendly, competition, but we remember that everybody in here is either a father or a mother. Shout out to 2 Cents. Family members. We're adults. We have families, and nobody's on here trying to get sunned and treated like a child. And I want to maintain that, and I will work my darndest to maintain that on this platform at all times. So I'm going to start this off. Ray, we're going to save you for last. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to start off with 2 Cents, and we'll just work our way around the room from there, come back down to either Rollo or probably Echo, go down to Echo, work it across the room, and then probably, we'll come full circle back to Ray as well. So 2 Cents, if you want to put some closing remarks, the stage is yours. She there? 2 Cents, you there?
Always good.
You're breaking up.
Can you hear me? Hello,
yeah, I got you.
Oh, my signal kind of crazy. Okay. Thanks, shout out to Claymore Rain for allowing me on his platform. I had a good time up here today. I will definitely be back. If y'all haven't checked out my channel, go ahead and check it out. Like I said, I'm just giving my opinion on boxing. And feel free to disagree. Let me know. Drop below in the comment section your thoughts. I had a good time. I'll definitely be back. What? Do you have a schedule, or you just kind of pop up here?
I think it's going to be around this time. I think we're going to try to bring it around to about. I'm going to discuss with Ray because we're co-hosting the show, but I am going to push for it to be around the same time that we did. I think the turnout was good and it gave everybody an opportunity to get on. And I'm trying my best not to overlap with other shows. But it's probably going to end up happening to a degree anyway. But yeah, it looks like around this time is going to be probably when we're doing it. But don't hold me to it yet. But we will definitely reach out and let everybody know what it's going to finally be.
Okay, cool. And y'all can catch me live on Sundays. I don't have a schedule either. I just kind of pop up there. But Sunday has definitely been working for me. So appreciate y'all, and I'll drop my link in the chat.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right, so Echo, it's on you if you want to put a closing remark.
Yeah, guys. As far as all this is going on, with the Tank and Haney and whatever, and all the other fighters that aren't fighting each other, they've all got reasons for doing that, and I can understand why. It could be money, it could be anything else. But one thing I've got to give credit to is Haney. At least he's going for the belts, and I think that's important. Whether Tank wants to go for any more belts, I don't know. I don't think he really cares about that too much, to be honest. And it depends on what he's looking for. He's looking for, to fight fighters and beat them up, or have a legacy and have belts. That's all it's all about. I mean, I know the history of boxing from back in the 18th century right through. And the way I look at this is, if Tank was to die tomorrow, would he be in the Hall of Fame?
Right.
That's not a guarantee. That's not a guarantee.
Right. His record doesn't reflect his real talent.
No.
I think I agree with you.
No. And he's got the talent to become a great. Yes.
All right. Salute, man. We appreciate you, Echo. Thanks again for coming by. You always welcome to come by. We want you to come by. I feel some kind of way when I don't see you. I start feeling like you're cheating on me or something. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying?
Where's it at, Frequent?
Well, like I say, I know the history of boxing very, very well. As much as good as anybody in the world, I think. And the most important thing about boxing is we keep that, keep it up there, and give it the respect it deserves. And the only reason why these boxers are so well paid, and there's, it's because of the fans.
Yes, sir.
If it wasn't for the fans, there'd be no boxing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. They're gonna do what we ask them to do. They're gonna try to please us, and if we show them that we're pleased with them doing nothing, guess what they're gonna do? So, I appreciate you, Echo. Thank you, man. Definitely come back next time again. We're going to get a locked in time once again. I know I'm repeating that, but we will have a locked in time that makes more sense, so everybody can kind of like see the consistency in us. I'm new to this game. I'm loving this game, though. I'm having a great time building with boxing enthusiasts like myself. But we're going to get it together, and when we get that locked in time, we'll communicate it, and hopefully. You know what I'm saying?
Can I just say one thing? A lot of things are online now, and people are talking about, he said this, they said that, I heard this. But there's no substantial truth about anything. Right. We really don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Who's writing contracts? Who's talking to who? We don't know if Hal Heyman's talking to anybody.
That's a fact.
Unless he's. I always say this. Believe half what you see and nothing you hear, unless it's substantiated.
Yes, sir.
Because you don't know. You don't know.
Right.
You only believe. You can believe a lie as much as you can believe the truth.
Yes, sir. You're right. 100%. Thank you.
You've got to be able to distinguish between the bullshit, to be honest. And some people can't because they listen to. That's why I don't go on many of these channels, these YouTube channels, because there's too much bullshit going along.
Right. Yes, sir. I agree. 100% co-sign that. We see it all the
reason
time.
why I'm here is because I know that you're 100%.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for holding it.
Go now anyway. You guys have a good time. Thanks for giving me the chance to speak, and take care, everybody. Bye.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you again, Echo. And yeah, man, shout out to the OGs like Echo who hold us to that standard, man. And always let us know if it's starting to turn into bullshit. You know what I mean? So we can get a hold of it, because it can get crazy. But I think we're dealing with mature adults, and it's not a problem. We all be able to hold it. It feels good to be respected. So, it's only right we give out respect. I'm gonna go ahead and let Freaking Flyer go ahead and say his piece. How you feeling, Frequent?
I'm feeling all right, man. Yeah, even though it's not concrete, I've been hearing rumors that Tank could possibly be fighting Frank Martin, and I think that's a great fight. I think that's definitely better than the other rumor that we had with Matias. I think he knocks Matias out easy. I think he could have a chance to load up if it was Matias. But the Frank Martin fight is a great fight. I think that's a tough fight for him, especially with all of the sparring rumors that they was talking about early on that seemed like they got swept under the rug and nobody really talked about.
Right.
But I'm kind of hoping that that's all cap and that, you know, that was just to throw us off and that we really going to see Tank versus Loma. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the better fight. I think that'll generate a lot more money. It seems like that's what they care about the most. And I just think that's the way to go, to fight Loma.
That'll be a
especially
problem.
being from the controversy with him and Devin and everything. You know, him and the Devin fight, you know, had all that controversy. Like you said, it's a lot of people, a lot of delusional fans running around here thinking Loma actually won.
Right.
So I think that'll be a good fight. And to be honest, I just want to see Tank knock Loma out, man. Knock him out cool.
You'll be rooting for Tank. Get out of here. Nah, salute frequent. Yo, one time I want to highlight. Yo, this is my wife supporting me. Shout out to my wife Jessica, who's up in there trying to motivate you guys to like and subscribe and help me build my channel. You guys all need that. You know what I'm saying? Need to find a strong person like my wife. I hope you have one in your life that's helping you achieve what you want to get done. So I want to acknowledge her. Hey, baby, I see you. Keep working. Throw that link up in there. All right. I'm gonna frequent. You done, right?
Yeah, I'm done. Salute to the panel. Salute to the chat. Y'all have a great night. Be easy.
All right. No doubt. We're gonna bring it down to go ahead and Rollo, say something nice about me. Go ahead. Oh, Rollo, you there?
Yeah. I appreciate you having me on, man, Clay and Ray. Something nice about you. You too nice, man. You're too nice.
Hold on. Time out. You told me I was too nice for not get away with stuff. I go on there and do my business. I got Big Ray yelling at me like, "Yo, Ray, leave my man alone."
You kind of stood a little tough, man. But you know, you'll straddle the fence quick, man.
Listen, I don't straddle, bro. I don't straddle. I just try to keep it down the middle. So, you know what I mean? You got to remember, it's that man's platform. I try to be respectful, man. At the end of the day.
Be respectful to those who's being respectful to you. But look, man, I want to speak on the rehydration way. Y'all need to go look at some of these fights, man. I think I recall Rachel Donaire saying that her husband, when he Frampton, I believe, I think Frampton came in 18 pounds over what Donaire came in. Go check out that. So that's normal. Either one or two things. Either Tank ain't disciplined enough to be the greatest 130-pounder, which I think he could be, that ever lived, right? He just ain't disciplined enough to do it. But I don't want to hear that Davin Reed. So what? If he's disciplined enough to make 140, that's been the game of boxing since I can remember. Nobody been complaining about that. This is the first I've heard about these complaints with Tank. If he can make 140 and fight, which we've seen him do, and power carry late into the 10th round and knock a big dude out, bigger than Davin, then he should be able to fight at 140. If he's complaining about being too big, then he should be able to go and be the greatest 130-pounder. Somewhere you got to start fighting the champions. Somewhere you got to start fighting. Ain't no 5-year stretch without fighting the champions, man.
Right.
Somewhere you got to fight the champion. Y'all realize he ain't never fought a champion in his at 135. He fought Gamboa for a vacant WBA belt.
Right.
He's been there since 2019, and we allowed that. We allowed this to become the face of boxing. I ain't saying he don't got the talent, because I think he do. I ain't saying he's scared, because I don't think he is. I think it's Al and Floyd Mayweather, which I can see I'm that. With them, but I know it's not good for boxing. But the brothers snuck in there under the machine of Bob Erm and all the other, not us looking people. You see what I'm saying? So you can't really go against Al and Floyd, because they going against the machine like David Haney and Bill's trying to do. They ain't with none of them. They the new guys on the block, and that's why people's hating on them so much, because you got Al and them mad at him for not signing. You got Bob mad at him for not signing. They kind of cool with Eddie, but still they wrong. They their own people. They going against the big machine like Mayweather and them did. And it's just not boxing just I don't know what to say about it, man.
Yes,
I
sir.
love
Yes,
Al
sir.
and Floyd, but at the same time, I hate what they're doing with Gervonta Tank Davis's career because I believe he could have been the best.
Right.
At 135 and 130. Well, not 135, because Devin would have beat him 3 years ago. But 130, he could have been the best. But that's all I got, man. Thanks for having me on, yeah.
Oh, no problem. Thank
Man,
you.
I appreciate you, Rob. Don't be a stranger, man. We really like you coming up here and spitting that box. They don't know what we know. When you give you an opportunity to go, you really just full of jewels and full of a lot of knowledge to share with the community, and we appreciate you using our platform to do that. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna pass it over to the big man on the scene, Big Dre. Jules, appreciated you being here today. You contributed so much to it, and I hope you had a good time, man. But I'm gonna leave the floor to you to go ahead and express your final thoughts.
Yeah, man, I had a great time. First time catching you live. It's been a wonderful experience. I like to shout out to Echo with his extreme wealth of knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to 2 Cents because she really came in and did her thing tonight. She cooked and she bought it correct. I'm gonna leave Rollo and frequent flyer alone today. I'll jump on him later.
You got him tomorrow.
I know. Frequent flyer always say something that's gonna trigger me. But as far as they are, some of the comments about rehydration and it's about the health of the fighter, and it's supposed to be about the health of the fighters. If I come in and weigh in this morning at 140, 139 and a half pounds, and I come in tomorrow morning and I weigh 165 pounds. By the time I get into the ring, I'm weighing 171, 172 pounds. That's a lot of weight. And, I look at the rules of the California State Boxing Commission, because their rules are posted. The Nevada State Athletic Commission, their rules. The rehydration weights are supposed to be limited to 15%. 15%, that's a lot of weight to gain. So if I weigh 200 pounds, that's 30 pounds. Yeah, on a 200-pound fighter, yeah, I can see that. But a 140-pound fighter to gain almost 30 pounds, that's a lot of weight. You look at a gallon of water. A gallon of water weighs 7 pounds. 7. So that's 3 gallons of water, a couple of meals, some protein, some extra thickeners, and that's it's a lot for a body to go through.
Big Dre, can I ask a question on that real quick?
Sure.
And really keep going. So you said it like I believe this. This is my opinion. That the California Athletic Commission, right? Because of their percentage rules and the rehydration of 15% was so strict that they wouldn't have had to fight if Devin came in a higher weight. I think they forced him to get down to that percentage before he entered that ring. And the reason why I say that is because the fight would have never went on and it would have never been sanctioned by the state. So I believe that they made him apply to those rules. I mean, abide by those rules so he can apply himself to the ring and to fight. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, we have to be speculative on both sides. Because if we think that he went from one weight to another and then gained weight, then that's absurd, especially if he went over the 15% already and then put on another, let's say, 3.5%. Now we're talking crazy. And I'm not you, I'm saying as a fans, because I heard it before, and I'm like, are we always also looking at the other end of it? Because there's a rule. So are they enforcing their rule? Because the guy went in the ring, he made weight, he blew up. They let him fight. He won a belt. There's no fines, no nothing released. So it had to be some stipulation on that, in my opinion.
Well, I can't say what they did after the morning weigh-in.
Right.
You know, I do know that when I looked at the when we were talking about it on Fanon's show, and I went and looked it up on California State Athletic Commission's website. Devin's name had a red dash beside it.
Right.
And they didn't say anything about it. Nobody said anything of it the day of the fight, the night of the fight. It just went on. And maybe it may have been because he was the headliner. And you know, it's kind of hard to cancel the headline fight 5-6 hours before it's supposed to start. You know, that's but I like boxing. I like watching it. I like going to the fights. I really love going to see live boxing.
Right.
I've had a couple of chances here in the DC metro area to see quite a few boxing matches live.
Oh yeah, you down there with my peoples then? My boy in Virginia.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, K. Carmel, man, that's my buddy.
Yeah. I'm right here in the nation's capital, man.
Okay.
I walk out my front door and I can see the Capitol by only walking just a few feet.
There you go.
Yeah. But you know, like I said, I love boxing, and I like talking boxing, especially when I can get people who are like-minded. We have a lot of stuff going on where we can get in and agree and disagree and just have a good time talking. So I enjoyed the show. Play more next time you out. Post your Cash App. I can kick you a little something. Just because we want to support the channel. We want to make sure that we continue to come back here on a regular basis.
Yes, sir. I plan on actually implementing that. I really appreciate that, and appreciate. I think Rollo was mentioning that to me too. So I will get the Cash App. I do have a Cash App and everything, but I'll get it posted up next time. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, and as far as moderating, I think you did a pretty good job. You looked like you were kind of lost a little bit in the beginning, but you came around, man.
I was trying. I'm like, well, hold on. I gotta make sure I get everybody. That's why I appreciate your patience with me. I promise to get better. I'm working on getting better. I take it seriously. You know what I'm saying? But it is an adjustment for me, and it makes me respect other people with their platforms, the way they're able to manage their platforms. I know it's not easy just by sitting in the seat that I'm in, but yeah, man, I definitely want to make sure everybody gets their opportunity to get it off their chest for sure.
Right.
Cool. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Cool.
Thanks, Big Dre.
Go ahead,
All
Ray.
right.
Shut up. Send him home, Ray. Send him home. Bring us home.
So I just want to say this. I think we had some great conversations. We actually learned a lot. We shared a lot of the information that we know. By doing so, we share what we know. Then we got some facts dropped in there. We got some things. You know what I mean? It changed a lot of thoughts. I've always been down the middle with things and been open-minded. I think even yourself, you said you picked up something today. I love the panel we had. We got some facts. We had some great visitors. We had some big names in the chat today. Thank you all. We got a few subscribers, which is great. Let's keep up the good work for now. I'm sorry, Claymore. Jeez, look, he's talking about me. That's my brother. But yeah, let's keep up the good work. Let's keep pushing, and we'll see you again soon. I mean, I think we can probably do this tomorrow or maybe Thursday. It's on you. But right now, you know, let's let the wind do its thing and let's hear what it does. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
You know we're gonna build. I appreciate you guys. Salute you guys again, man. Today was, I think, once again, just to remind you guys, it was our biggest viewership. It's like every week we're getting better. Every show we're getting better. And I'm gonna take that as you guys are liking the content, man. And we're gonna continue to keep making this content, man. Appreciate you guys. It's your boy Claymore Rain. It's your boy CK Ray Davis. This is the ATP Combat Media Show. And at this point, we out.
They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way up, way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself. Yeah, why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation. Now I got rollies all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Starting all bad like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it can't.